I rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal. For how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledged knowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My fans on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, but them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the result. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
Life and for those who we caught up in using what I was taught with the muse. I guess they call it proving I'm more than an artist. Penciling out my darkest while stenciling out a harvest. And storing what gets me from A to B, just like garages. Instrumental with collages. Envision what I've been drawing. Broadway to give you rhythm like the great Lena on. So bent on, found comfort in the storm. Find peace and on when you see them others perform. Organized chaos, outcasted like hey ya.
Yo, party people in the place to be. What's good? It's the #1 Chief Rocket, Knicks Universe, the main man, Uncle Freezy. And welcome to the Knicks at Night podcast. Y'all want this party started right. Y'all want this party started quickly, right? All right. Y'all know how we rock. Man. Blue tears, orange tears, blorange tears. Bam! Let's go. Let's get it. Salute to everybody in the chat. Salute to King Ribby. Salute to Pudge Nice. Salute to Travel Vibes in the building. Salute to JJ. JJ, what are we doing out here? JJ, what are we doing out here, man? Really? We giving up 11 runs to the. I'm already frustrated, man. I'm already frustrated that I'm already frustrated that I'm getting bombarded by the Obi fans. The Obi fans want due justice. The Obi fans want an entire week or so dedicated to Obi. Right? And the Mets out here giving up 11 runs to the Rockies. Right? Knicks fans heard me say that Obi is out of here, that we should trade Obi, and they are upset and they want their own show. Now, listen. I'm not going to even pretend to act like some of the points that I heard from the Obi fans didn't sway me a little bit, because Obi fans do have a legit argument, right? They do, and I want to get into it a little bit, maybe a lot, right? Maybe I am unfair towards Obi. Right? Maybe I'm even unfair to certain players that I may or may not have high up on my likes list, like RJ. Like how I always give RJ a pass. And I know I do this, and I try not to, but I do it anyway. I always give Quickly a pass. I always give Miles McBride. Miles McBride gets the biggest pass of any Knicks player from me, even more than Randle. Right? Miles McBride can legit come in the game, not make a shot. And I'm breaking down everything on Miles McBride. Like, man, did you see his confidence when he took the shot, though? And then Obi can legit save a Boy Scout troop. Obi can pass out medicine to old ladies, right? Obi can lay down his coat over a puddle and I'm still going to criticize him. Or at least that's what people tell me. And maybe it's true. Maybe it's true. DSJ in the building. 19 comment NYC in the building. The son of the legend. Kerry Cox is in the building. Fashiz is in the building. King Imbert, what it do? Mr. Atkins is in the building. What's good, man? Man, I see y'all. I see y'all out here. Have I been unfair to Obi Toppin? Yes. Thank y'all for coming out. Good night. Right. Have I been unfair to Obi? Bim. There's nothing else that comes after that. Right? And Pud says, did Cully lose his? Nah, man, them dudes, they just had personal stuff going on. They just had, it's like with everybody in life. Like, you know what I'm saying? When cats just have personal stuff going on, man, instead of me coming on here and saying, yo, such and such got such and such going on his personal life and blah, blah, blah. We just like, you know, K Sarah, out of respect to Cully, who I love, and Subliminal 209, who I love, but they just have stuff going on, man. I mean, it ain't that. It ain't that. It's same thing with G-Man for life. It ain't that. Cats just have things in their personal life going on, and it's bigger than this. Right? Right. But I miss Subliminal 209 too. He probably more like me than anybody else that rock on here. Right? But the thing with Obi, though, have I been unfair to Obi Toppin? Absolutely. I've called Obi Toppin names that if Obi ever catch me personally, he probably want to throw them things. You know what I'm saying? After he put his purse down. After he put his man purse down, he'll probably want to throw them things with me. You know what I'm saying? After Obi put his chapstick on, he'll probably put that man purse down and want to throw them things with me. You know what I'm saying? Oh. Yo, I know I gotta stop. Listen, I know I gotta stop doing that, right? I know I gotta stop doing it, right? And it's just jokes, right? It's just jokes, man. I'm just playing. The Obi fans, swear up and down I do Obi wrong, and sometimes I do, man. Listen, sometimes I do, right? But sometimes you know how you open yourself up for jokes. You know how you see somebody and they just always just like doing something that just leave themselves open for you. You like, yo, did this dude really bring a purse to Summer League? And you think we ain't gonna never say nothing about that, Obi? Come on. Obi, you think Obi, did you really bring a man purse to Summer League and think we wasn't gonna say nothing about it? Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, man. I mean, but on the floor, right? On the floor, does Obi get done dirty? Yes. I've seen it. I've seen it live 3 or 4 times. When Obi gets hot, Tibbs take him out the game. I've seen it. I even showed y'all video evidence of the game in Charlotte when we were down 8. And Obi went on his own personal 8-0 run. I think he hit like a 3, a dunk, a 3, and Tibbs was like, holy crap. This dude's playing good. Let me get his ass out of here. Taj. Tibbs didn't care. Listen, Tibbs didn't care who he put in the game in front of Obi. That man, he didn't care who he put in the game over Obi. He caught anybody, right? We was at the Charlotte game. Randle, I don't know if y'all remember this or not, but this is the game in Charlotte. I think it's like 2 years ago. And Julius Randle left the game. He like tweaked something. Now he came back in the game, but whatever. But Randle was in the back getting checked. Obi went on an 8-0 run, right? And I legit saw Tibbs want to get Obi out of the game so bad, right? He wanted to get Obi out of the game so bad that I think he put in what's the backup center? I forget the backup center we signed during the season. I forget who it was, but Tibbs was calling for somebody. He like, Obi doing good. Obi doing good. Get him out of the game. We can't let Obi get his confidence up. Are y'all crazy? We can't ever let Obi get his confidence up. Frank, get in there for Obi. I saw him do that numerous times, right? I saw him do that to Obi numerous times, right? And I'm like, yo, why don't you just let the man cook? Tibbs, why don't you just let the man cook, bro? You want to stifle that man so bad that you snatched him out of the game and put Kemba Walker back in the game. You want to stifle Obi so bad that it disrupts your style of play. You want grinders and dogs so bad that when a high flyer comes in the game and shoots a 3 and dunks and makes another 3 with disregard to your precious defensive scheme, that you snatch him out the game and have that young fella wondering what he did wrong. Right. And so am I a fan of Obi? Let me state it in a way that's crystal clear to everybody. So you won't know that, you won't think I'm either leaning one way or the other, but I do have biases. Right. And my bias is that I believe if power is in your job description, you should do it. Just like if shooting is in your job description, you should be doing it. Right? So Obi is a power forward that doesn't power. And I know in today's NBA, he's not really a power forward. He's more of a 4, a do-it-all 4. I know he's a do-it-all 4, right? I understand this. I'm not Clint Eastwood. I'm not, get off my lawn. I'm not that guy. Even though I'm in my 50s or so ish. Right? I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy that can't understand that things change. Right? Things change. But here's my thing with Obi fans. This is my question to y'all. because y'all get on me hardcore. The one thing I respect about the Obi fans is they are relentless. I respect that. Keep on. I like that. I'm one of those that like beef, right? I like beef. I don't take like certain things. You know what I'm saying? I like cats trying to ruffle my feathers. I kind of like that, right? And I know everybody that rocks the mic doesn't necessarily like that. I'm not them and they're not me. And that's why I'm the #1 Chief Rock in Knicks universe. I like the conversation, right? I like that. I like y'all hitting me with hard questions. I like y'all challenging me. As long as cats don't be disrespectful, like they ask me a question and don't let me talk. You know what I'm saying? Let me respond. You know what I'm saying? I kind of like that. I don't like the high estrogen thing. People yelling at each other, won't let each other. That ain't me. That ain't really my thing. My thing is, if you got something to say, man, come on, bring it. Obi fans, bring it. Grimes fans don't. The Grimes fans, they want to bring it, but they don't. They diss others. They redirect. Like the Grimes fans would be like, why are you always calling Grimes a ham sandwich? What about Randle? No, this ain't about Randle. What about Grimes? What about Grimes? If this is about Grimes, what about Grimes? Grimes. If this is about Grimes, let it be about Grimes. Stop redirecting. Right? Right? If this is about Grimes, then let it be about Grimes. Right? And the Obi fans do that. The Obi fans, they are relentless. Right? They Uncle Freezy, you always diss Obi. Hey, Obi can't do nothing wrong. Or Obi can't do nothing right in your eyes. Right. I get it. I get it. Yeah, I get that part. You know what I mean? I get that part. I know I'm hard on Obi, but I believe if power is in your job description, then be powerful. If shooting is in your job description, then shoot. Right? The thing about Obi is this. How much do we have to hand Obi before he becomes what people think he is? If Obi is that guy, how much do we have to clear the runway for Obi? Right? How much do we have to clear the runway for Obi? Do we have to trade our all NBA guy just so Obi can become himself? Do we have to get rid of our coach of the year just so that Obi can thrive? Do we have to start Obi's best friend on the team just so that Obi can shine? Or can Obi Toppin be more assertive? So somebody told me Saturday afternoon, it's Sunday night, Monday morning? So it's Monday morning, right? Okay. It's early Monday morning. Some would consider it Sunday night, right? Their argument, so Saturday afternoon, their argument was, man, Obi brings energy off the bench. Tom Thibodeau offense is whack. So Obi getting those dunks in the open court helps the Knicks score. It energizes the team. What do y'all think? What do y'all think about Obi in the open court? Getting dunks and energizing the team. Y'all tell me what y'all think about that. What do y'all think about that, man? And B Baller for Real says it's simply put from the Obi fans. How about we just stop holding him back? Is that too much to expect, or do we have to defend Tibbs and Randle? Well, the thing about Randle is Randle doesn't manipulate Obi Toppin's minutes. So Randle is not even in the equation with Obi. Julius Randle is not the coach. Julius Randle does not sub Obi in and out of the game. When we put, and quite frankly, putting one Knick versus the other is lame. This should not be a Julius Randle versus Obi debate. This shouldn't be a Grimes versus RJ debate. This shouldn't be a Mitch versus Hartenstein debate. This right here is as simple as what does Obi have to prove to Tibbs to keep him on the floor? And B Baller for Real also says Tibbs is the drunk and Randle is the liquor. Hey man, that's an excellent. I like the way you stated that. But still, we all have preferences, though. And in this case, Tibbs right now prefers Randle over Obi. But that's not Randle's fault. Right? That's not Randle's fault, though. Because ultimately, you want all of your players to be the very best player that they can be, right? You want your players to be the very best versions of themselves that you can be. And thus far, in Julius Randle's 4 complete seasons as a Knick, he's a 2-time All-Star, 2-time All-NBA. Obi Toppin's 3 years as a Knick, nothing else could be said there. You can't, in fairness to the conversation, in fairness to the conversation, you can't say that it's Randle's fault for trying to be the best version of himself. In my opinion, the closest it's ever been was the year Randle came off that terrible first season as a Knick. And Obi Toppin was the hotshot rookie. One could have easily have seen those guys split minutes down the middle at that point. Because Randle proved that he's a quality, at that point, he proved that he's a quality NBA player, but he did not prove that he was an all-star. Right? Now, in that competition, Obi could have came in and took Randle's job. Hey, I'm the number 8 pick. I'm the one this new regime chose. Right? I'm the breath of fresh air. I could do all these things that Knicks fans want me to do. Right? But instead, Julius Randle, who also saw the challenge, got in the best shape of his life, and came out and made the all-star team. These are facts. Randle had a bad season. It was so bad, he apologized in the Players Tribune about how bad that season was. and he promised y'all that he was gonna be better. And not only did he come out and be better, he became an all-star and an all-NBA player. Now, Obi was a rookie, so he didn't do it in his first season. Hey, man, listen, rookies tend to struggle in their first season. So I'm not blaming Obi from not coming out and being an all-star in his first season. Things happen. Things happen. It's not often that you see a rookie make the all-star team. It's not often that it happens. So Obi came out, played like a rookie. So what? So what? Stop hanging that over Obi's head. No, rookies don't come in and dominate the league like that at the power forward position. Unless you Zion. Zion was the number 1 pick. My thing with Obi and the Obi fans, the Obi Hive, and y'all are deep. I ain't gonna lie. The Obi Hive is deep. And I honestly believe the Obi Hive are the ones that erased a 1 off their jersey and crossed out Ntilikina on the back and put Obi on it. The Frankers were homeless. The Frankers were homeless. They needed somewhere to go. And they looked at the Knox Hive and they were like, yeah, no, I don't think we can survive in a Knox Hive. I don't think that Knox Hive is going to survive, right? Maybe we can jump on the Obi bandwagon? Maybe. But the Obi Hive is deep and they're passionate. And they often say stuff like, Uncle Freezy, why you say Obi don't rebound when he in the game with Josh Hart and Josh Hart rebounds? Well, for one, why would a power forward get out rebounded by a shooting guard? I'm just saying. Why would a power forward let an undersized shooting guard out rebound them? I don't care what team you on. I don't care if you're wearing orange and blue, blue and orange and green, blue and yellow, purple and gold, green and white, orange and black, red, white, and blue. If you're a power forward and power is in your job description, be powerful. I don't care if you're wearing red and black, black and red and white, black and silver, red and yellow, red, yellow, and blue, blue and green, green and tan, purple and red. I don't care. If you are a power forward, be powerful. And I know, and listen, I know the NBA has changed. And I'm not saying get off my lawn. Right? But what I am saying is this. At some point, we all have to stand and deliver. Right? At some point, we all have to stand and deliver. Right? At some point, we got to stand and deliver. Obi, if you want to be this guy, Obi Hive, if y'all want him to be that guy, at some point, Obi has to stand and deliver. Can Obi do that? Can Obi be that? Is it Obi time? Is it Obi time? Let me ask this, because I want to step on some toes of some in the Randle camp, right? Some in the Randle camp. I'm going to step on your toes. How long do we have to watch Julius Randle pout around the floor? And listen, and when I get into this, listen, I want to be fair to everyone when I say this. So I'm going to ask some questions to y'all. They're going to be rhetorical to me. Feel free to answer in the chat. Right? These are rhetorical questions. I'm going through rhetoric. So the questions I'm asking, they're going to be rhetorical because I'm trying to pace this thing out. Right? But feel free to answer in the chat. How long do we have to watch Julius Randle pout over? I almost said BS on the thing, right? How long do we have to watch Julius Randle pout and complain to the refs? Hey, why you not giving me the star calls? I'm a star. How long do we have to watch Julius Randle? How many times do we have to see Julius Randle shoot 2 of 11 from 3 and the Knicks lose by 7? Hey, Uncle Freezy, what about Julius Randle? He's a power forward. What about the power in his game? When is Randle going to be powerful? Right, Randle. When are you going to be consistently powerful? Tibbs, how come you give Randle a pass for everything and give Obi a pass for nothing? I'm asking. I need a friend to help me out here. Somebody help me out. Why does it look as if Tibbs favors Julius Randle? Why does Randle always get a pass? Randle out here having meltdowns. The coaching staff has to have a plan in place in case Randle can't control his emotions. Sometimes Randle is so much of a distraction that the coaching staff can't even coach the game because they're on pins and needles. What if Julius Randle has a meltdown? And D Public Enemy says, he said Randle versus Grimes, the 2 years Grimes has been a Knick highlight, is getting a steal from Jimmy. There is no comparison with RJ and Grimes. D Public Enemy, you have to keep up, man. You got to keep pace. There is a conversation about RJ Barrett going back to the 2. You got to keep up, man. Come on. Don't act like you don't know that there are people in Knicks universe that want RJ to go back to the 2. We have these conversations all the time. Come on. Come on, man. And I'm sorry, y'all, for just getting off track with that one. You know what I'm saying? But But some of this stuff, man, we gotta make sure everybody that rock with us know the flow of the conversation, right? And just like that, JJ says RJ ain't no 2, right? But when Ron Cleveland come on, he gonna tell you RJ is a 2. And Pud says Grimes to the bench. Yeah, you see what I mean? Yeah, you see what I mean? And maybe there is, and maybe I shouldn't have read the thing from D Public Enemy because there is no consensus. So I apologize to D Public Enemy because there is no consensus, right? But to say that there is no thing like between Grimes and RJ and Knicks fans not wanting RJ to play the 2, I think is not really fair. Right. I don't know if that's really fair because there are a lot of us that think that RJ is a 2. Right. I don't think you have to be anyway, let me get back to the Randle thing. Why does Randle get a pass for everything? Is it just because he's an all-star? Or is the all-star thing an achievement based on what Randle does? Is Randle an all-star player that gets rewarded that because of his play? Or is Randle an all-star and his play dictates that treatment? And see, look at this. Ivory says, no, we think RJ is better at the 2, not is a 2. Right? And then the comment before that, RJ is not a 2 because he's not efficient enough. That's what I'm saying. That's what the reason why I pointed out the thing by D Public Enemy. That's the reason why I say that. Right? And Kaiser Sauce says, listen, man, I don't care what Randle does in the regular season if he can't show up for the most important games that actually count in the playoffs. Bim. Okay. Okay. What about the others, though? Right? What about the others? And I know the conversation is, well, the others are not all-stars. Randle is an all-star. The others are not all NBA players. Randle is an all NBA player. So we hold Randle to a higher standard because Randle is an all-star, all NBA player. The others are not, so they're not held to that high of a standard. And I can agree. I can rock with that. Right? With more power comes more responsibility. Right? But what I'm saying is this about Randle and Obi, right? I think Tibbs stifles them both. And I know there are a lot of Tibbs lovers in here in the chat. I know it's probably about 50-50 of y'all that love Tom Thibodeau. Right? I know it's about 50-50. Like, or based on the comments that I read, there are more Tibbs supporters than Tibbs detractors, but the Tibbs detractors are vicious. The Tibbs detractors are vicious, boy. They are the loud minority, right? I know a few of y'all in this chat will deliver Tibbs' pink slip to his house tonight if Leon Rose fired him. They're like, nah, Leon, you don't have to call him. I'll take the pink slip to his house myself. You know what I'm saying? My thing with Obi and my thing with Randle is this. Do I feel like Tom Thibodeau stifles Obi Toppin's growth and talent? Yes. Do I feel like he does the same thing to Julius Randle? Absolutely. Without a doubt. I think he stifles, I think he constricts Julius Randle. I think he absolutely stifles Julius Randle. I think he absolutely stifles Obi Toppin even more. Obi, don't do that. There was one game we were watching. We were watching the Detroit Pistons, and I guess this was 2021 when they were playing in Empty Gems. And I believe we were doing a watch along, or maybe we were watching the game together. And you heard Tom Thibodeau screaming out Obi Toppin's name the whole time he was on the floor. Obi! 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 No! Obi! And I was like, you know what? How can you play? How can you play freely when your coach is screaming your name the entire 2.5 minutes you on the floor? Tom Thibodeau legit screamed Obi Toppin's name for 150 seconds and then took him off the floor against the sorry-ass Pistons. So how do you expect Obi to thrive in an environment like that? I'll tell you how. How about Obi get tough? Get tough, Obi. Get tough, Obi. If you tired of people saying all these things about you that are clearly true, change it. What you gonna do? Tom Thibodeau against the Pistons called Obi Toppin's name for 150 seconds straight. Obi! 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 Tibbs. Man, sit your behind down and let that man play. And Obi, if you tired of this is 3 seasons of this, right? 3 full seasons of this. If you want a different outcome, do something different. DSJ says Obi Toppin hides under the desk like an earthquake drill when he sees Tom Thibodeau walking in his direction. Yes. Yes. But is it Obi's time? Obi went through all this stuff for 3 years. Is it time for us to move Randle and just start Obi? Is it time? Chat, I'm asking y'all. In fairness, in full disclosure, y'all know I'm not a Obi fan like that. I root for him, right? But y'all know my personal biases have me leaning towards Julius Randle, right? It's my preference. It's like some of y'all like Rocky Road ice cream. I like butter pecan. It's my preference, right? It's just what I like. And so I'm not trying to impose that on someone else because, quite frankly, I don't care what you like. You like what you like and enjoy it. I'm going to like what I like and I'm going to enjoy it. Right? Doesn't mean I dislike you. It's just I don't care about your preferences. Your preferences are your preferences based on your experiences, right? And your personal likes. So what? What does that have to do with Uncle Freezy? What does that have to do with me? And I would expect and some level of cordiality that you're like, you know what? I at least respect where Uncle Freezy coming from. So if he like Randle, let him like Randle. It's not a civil war. It's not a civil war. The people here, all 60 or so people that's watching, 1 o'clock in the morning on a late Sunday night, early Sunday morning, Monday morning, whatever you want to call it. You like whatever it is that you like. Okay. I'm cordial enough to respect that. Rocky Road, I'm a goodie. Puerto Rico, ho! Obi can stay. Randle's got to go because I believe Obi has a lot of potential. He just needs to be given a shot. What I'm going to say to that is okay. Okay. I'm going to put the link in here, man. I've been talking for like 45 minutes straight. The Obi topic does deserve a deep dive, though. Sherwin is in the building. Sherwin, the king of the Obi lovers, is in the building. The king of the Obi lovers. Sherwin is in the building. Okay. My intellectual nemesis is backstage. Okay. I threw the challenge out there, and my intellectual sparring partner is in the building. Y'all throw some fire in the chat for Ivory 10.
I'm bitter. I'm bitter.
Oh, don't be better.
What's up, chat? What's up, Freezy? How you doing, man? I'm happy to join you on this holiday weekend. It was a wonderful weekend. Had the family here all weekend. It was nice. It was really, really nice. Had a really
awesome.
Great time. Listen, Freezy, why are we talking about? I thought twice about joining because I don't. This is your show. Why are we talking about Obi?
This is our show. Yeah.
I hear you. I'm just saying listen, I put it in the chat. Knicks have 99 problems, but Obi ain't one, is all I'm saying. You know what I mean? Obi's just doing what he can do. That's all he can do. He doesn't get much time. He gets no minutes. When he's in there, he does what he could do. But why are we talking about this young man? We need to trade him and let him go live his life and do his thing, earn his money and do his career thing. Why are we jumping on Obi's back?
Because he's from Brooklyn.
That's cool. I mean, that's cool.
Obi from Brooklyn, man. And
that's all right.
And Obi, hey, what's up, King Rich? But boss, check it out. Obi is Hollywood handsome. He looked the part.
That's fine, Freezer. Let's let that man do his thing. I mean, we're in here talking, and you got people all riled up. Listen, you said let's not pit these players against one another, but when you mention one name after the other time and time again, you know exactly what you're doing.
Exactly.
You're driving the fans to have this conversation about, yeah, he could step in. No, Randle. Listen, we need to appreciate. I have never been a fan of someone who holds the ball all damn game long. That includes all the above. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And my point is, they got us where we are. Let's appreciate that. Let's be happy for once. Let's be a happy fan base, and let's talk about how we move forward. As opposed, listen, I'm not here to talk about what we need to talk about on your show. I'm just, I don't know.
Our show, yeah.
So that's all. How you doing, Freezy?
So hey, King Ruby, just real quick. I just want to say this to Ivory just real quick. So the thing is, is I go about like handling the channel in a sense of letting everybody, let it be equal opportunity, right? Because what happens is in the grand scheme of things, when you search out Knicks content, it's usually click-based content, right? Like somebody put something out there. There's a rumor that Obi is going to be blah, blah, blah. Oh, there's a rumor this. And Knicks fans never get a chance to say anything about anything. So Lawrence Tears is the place where cats just come up as long as they not whack. You know how I feel about people coming up and they whack. You know what I'm saying? But
I think I've just not been in touch with all that stuff going on outside of there. So maybe that's just me. I'm not really in touch as much as most. So,
well, the thing is, Obi fans have an axe to grind with me, right?
No,
me too.
No, they don't. No, they don't. Freezy.
For real, but honestly, I promise.
No, they got an axe to grind with the coach. I bet. You know, I bet they mad at the coach, but I don't know about they mad at Freezy.
Exactly.
Okay. So when I say stuff like Obi Toppin will get in the game when he finished putting his chapstick on. You know what I'm saying? Cass will be like, "Oh, Obi, Uncle Freezy, why are you so disrespectful?"
When you're competing with Spike Lee, with the size of your pocketbook, that's a problem. It's a problem in the garden. It's a problem. It's a problem.
Right. When I say Obi couldn't play in summer league because he had a big black Louis man purse, Obi fans don't like when I say that, man. They think, you know,
you just messing with people, man.
Yeah, I'm just joking because listen, dudes joke around with dudes all the time, right? It's what guys do, right? Guys, you know, little elbow, little something, but not with Obi, bro. You can't. The slightest thing you say about Obi, cats are gonna get on Twitter and blast.
No, you know, he ain't the golden child, though. He ain't the golden child.
All I'm saying, bro. All I'm saying is Saturday afternoon, right? You know, it's a holiday weekend, right? So I stopped working midday Friday, and I'm like, hey man, I'm not doing anything else until Tuesday morning, right? I'm not doing. I ain't calling no client. I ain't doing none of that, right? So I got my email. You know how when you leave the office, you put your out of office thing, all of this stuff, so that people be fun. But I don't do that until like 6:30 because I don't want people to know I'm gone, right? You know what I'm saying? I want them to think I'm working late, but I'm actually like. But anyways, my point is Saturday I get a call and it's like, yo, why you always got Obi Toppin name in your mouth, man? Why don't you just let that man live? Why can't you just for the sake of the summertime?
You got a call.
But it wasn't just one call. It was the Obi Hive calling each other, and then one at a time they called me, thinking I wouldn't connect the dots like they're talking about Obi, and then they call me. But then what I noticed in every call is that everybody I talk to is like 3 people. Everybody's got the same thing. Yo, Obi just need a shot. Just give Obi a shot, man. Right? But let me bring in my guy real quick. Let me bring in my guy real quick.
Uh-oh.
It's about to be a Royal Rumble in here.
Oh my God! Look,
Oh,
the whole crew.
okay.
Rumble!
That's something.
What up,
Hey,
Jay?
what's up, y'all?
Delanio.
First
What up?
off, no merc
Salute to
slander.
everybody in the chat.
No merc slander.
No, no mercy.
No
Hey,
merc
listen,
slander.
hey,
It's a
Obi
man
Top,
purse. It's a merc.
Obi Toppin is
Oh, mercy.
Listen,
Obi Toppin is gonna get at all of y'all like
what is
Alan
the
did
age?
Phil Stew and everybody in the Hangover and tell you it's not a purse, it's a satchel.
It's a satchel, right? My bad. My bad. It's a satchel.
Yo, I
man.
still call it a pocketbook. I mean, I'm old.
Me too.
I call it a pocketbook. I mean,
I'm old school. I saw the buckle. I was like, yo, he got a pocketbook on.
I know. Did you see the size of Spike Lee's pocketbook in the Garden on TV? It was on TV. I'm like, I can't believe he didn't let it go. He didn't put it down the entire game. I don't think there was anything in it but a pair of socks or something. It was
maybe
flat. I couldn't believe it.
I thought that was Spike's Lee. I thought that was his ride to the game. That big pocketbook he had, I think he rolled that to the game, bro.
He's got a collection that will make my wife jealous. I'll tell you that right now.
Yes.
You guys gotta get into the new generation.
No.
I know. Man. What is the age cutoff where the merch really is like okay? Like like what?
Well,
what
Dwayne Wade wore him, so maybe around 40.
40? You can be 40 and wear the merch?
Now,
somebody got a TV on in the background?
Yeah, somebody has some background noise.
Okay. Yeah. I'm not. Listen, I'm not talking about. And listen, I'm not talking about masculinity or none of that stuff, right? I'm not challenging that anything like that. I'm just questioning the fashion choices.
Fashion taste. Exactly.
I'm not a merch guy personally. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna do that.
Listen,
I have pockets and I'll put my wallets in my pocket. I don't need
got to get my wife a wallet.
I don't need these other things, bro.
Right.
Anyway, why are we beating up on Obi tonight? Why are we beating up on Obi a little bit tonight? What's going on?
I don't want to. No, I don't want to. I don't want to beat up on Obi. I want to actually have a fair conversation about why Obi Toppin has not reached his full potential. And I don't think it's Julius Randle. I think Julius Randle is the faux enemy. I think Obi Toppin's real enemy is Tom Thibodeau.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when the Obi Hive, what the Obi Hive does is like Saturday afternoon, I talk to somebody, they talk to me. Nev, have you ever been on the telephone with a grown man for 2.5 hours?
No.
I was like, yo,
my wife, girlfriend at the time, yes. No.
Bro, and Nev, how long do I usually talk
I can't spend 2 minutes on the phone with a grown man.
Yo, like when Nev and I are on the phone at 2 minutes, I'm gonna start making excuses like, hey Nev, I gotta pee. Something. I'm saying something. And Nev is like, yeah, okay, man, yeah. Nev is like, yeah, man, I had to pee 30 seconds ago. I'll talk to you later. You know what I'm saying? So like, hurry up and get off the phone, right? But bro, when a grown man call your phone and take a deep breath after you say hello, like hello, and you're like, I'm like, oh my God, he gathering breath. I'm gonna be here for 2 hours. About Obi Toppin, bro.
So in their love for Obi, they've somehow transitioned that to be some kind of hate for Randle. So they want to like kind of hate on Randle a little bit to kind of pump up Obi a little bit.
Yeah,
I think you could have one without the other.
Do this guy be in a panel?
I don't snitch. I don't do the.
I think it's how the coach has. I think it's how the coach has pegged them against each other. It feels like it's a competition between them two.
No, that's not right.
I have said that many times before.
Tibbs is all about winning. Keep in mind, Tibbs thinks that the guy he's playing is going to give him the best chance to
Agreed.
win. That's it. That's it. That's
no, I don't agree. Maybe
just like Alec Burks.
Yeah. I mean, do you call that winning? I mean, he has an approach that you can say anybody can say it's all about winning. But basketball, that's not what basketball should be about. It's not all about winning.
But that's how
Yeah,
I
Tibbs
don't
no,
know. I don't
yeah,
know.
proposed. Like
On that
because
level, Nev, on that level, I think it
no,
really
no.
is a
Let
lot
me
about
tell you
winning. I
why.
think it
Let me
really is
tell
all
you
about
why.
winning. You're
Let
not
me tell you
grooming
why.
you're not grooming men at that stage. You
No,
know,
let me tell you why it's not all
this
about
isn't
winning.
about
Whenever
you get a
you
trophy for just
no,
participating. You know, this is
no,
professional
you
sports.
don't, you will never get the trophy if it's all about winning, because all about winning will never take you to the trophy. You got to develop players in that framework. Because if you can't develop players, you will never get to all about winning the trophy. You might be all about winning. Like a good example is I said this a lot. The Republicans is all about winning. And with that winning approach is by itself is corrupt.
But Nev,
Because
would
if
you
you're all
agree?
about winning, you're gonna do anything to get there.
But
And you
Nev,
don't
Nev,
want to do anything.
would you agree that like you're saying that apparently I think that you're saying that Tibbs isn't necessarily doing what he needs to do to develop players as much as he should. I guess we're talking about Obi. So I think that's your opinion, really, you know, right? I mean, so there are other people who might come to the table and say that Tibbs is developing players pretty well, right? So that is just your opinion that he's not really developing.
Well, um, in a sense, he's developing players. The approach Steve has is that he is developing his boys. You know,
I
God
agree.
consider his boys.
I think Tibbs is trying to win, Fel. He's not
But
trying to develop anybody. He's trying to
no, it's
win.
not. It's not. Yes, he's trying to win, but that approach is in itself is a corruption. You just
But
cannot
that's
try
also
to
opinionated. That's
a
somewhat
basketball
opinionated.
a basketball coach just cannot try to win, because if he put in everything first to win a game, then he's actually corrupting his team.
Wait a
You
minute.
know,
Let me ask you. So, are you saying if you put winning first, like winning in the short term over winning in the long term, is that what you're saying?
yeah, if it's every game it's all about winning, then you are, yes, because you're not looking down the road. You're actually not caring about what's going to happen 6 months down the road. And 6 months down the road going to be much more important than that game right now. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, that might be a
So
knock on
so
Tibbs a little bit. I would agree with you. I would agree with you
so
that, but
therefore you cannot put everything in winning. You gotta look, hey, what,
but
yes, I
he
want to
does.
win games
But
now.
Tibbs does. I think we all agree that Tibbs does do that, though, right?
Do
He's not
what?
looking at tomorrow. He plays the starters 45 minutes, even when they're up 20 in the fourth quarter, right? So Tibbs is all about winning today. So
But
we
that
have to
is
like
the
we have to.
corruption.
So here's
And
where I think here's as fans in our place. Here's what we kind of struggle with. We struggle with what we think they should do and what we think they're going to do, right? So we know Tibbs is going nowhere. So do we talk about what we think Tibbs should be doing, or what, or do you want to talk about Tibbs leaving? I mean, Tibbs is going to be there. So let's talk about what we're going to do with Tibbs being there and doing things his way, as opposed to coming up with a whole nother way. Because
no,
we could
no,
discuss that, but I just
we
don't think
cannot
it's
accept that
reality.
either. That's not acceptable. That absolutely is not acceptable, because it doesn't mean because somebody's winning we have to overlook all the flaws. We
I
have
didn't
to
say
call it
that.
like
I
it
didn't say that.
is, you know,
I didn't
because
say
the
that.
flaws matter. The flaws matter. At some point, the flaws are going to stop him from winning.
Right, but I
You
think
know,
there's very
so
few people that
if
would
we will
say
overlook
trying
it
to
because
win is a
we,
flaw.
huh?
You know, I just think there's very few people that would say that trying to win every game is a flaw. You know, I
Yes,
think
it
that's
is. It is, because
okay.
when if you sacrifice everything for winning, that in itself is corruption. You're corrupting the environment. In anything, in anything. If you sacrifice everything for winning, it's because you're willing to sacrifice a lot of things that that at the time may not look important, but in the long run will become important. So you now you want to win, you
Tell
go
me.
sacrifice that.
So you think Tibbs is sacrificing some development for winning
Oh,
today?
definitely,
Okay.
definitely,
I think that's possibly true. I could see
definitely,
some of that. I could see some
because
of that. But remember, You know, I don't think Tibbs. I think Tibbs believes his job is more to win today than to develop for tomorrow, because his job is not promised for tomorrow. His job is today, and his job today is to win. So you have to put yourself in his position, and I think.
But there are many
would
coaches. That's the point, Avery. If you look around the league, the best coaches are doing a combination of everything. It's not, so therefore you could
but
say,
they're
all
also
right,
not all 65, 66 years old. Like,
Right. Yeah.
there's mortality in the rest of his career. So he's not thinking about what the Knicks are going to look like in 2027 when
but
he's
he
going to be
doesn't have
72.
he doesn't have to think that far in the future. What he has to do is the team he has now, can he construct when the season starts? This is how I would look at it. The season start, can I construct a team that when around, in the critical part of the month, we're talking about April, May, June. At that time, can I have a team that's going to come together and be very formidable? So that's what I want to do. So if I have to sacrifice giving some players some time, early in the year, I am willing to do that. Yeah, as a coach, that would be my approach.
Nev, if he did that and they lost and got swept in the first round or didn't make the playoffs because he was like playing Obi more, playing Deuce more, would you forgive him or would you say he's got to go?
I would forgive him, because then
he didn't make the playoffs. If he was like not in if he was in the play-in and got swept, boom, you would
so
say,
untrue.
Bring back
That is
Tibbs.
so not
Give me
true.
Tibbs.
That is so not true. When Tibbs was playing the kids down the stretch last year, when Quickly was the starting point guard and Obi was starting at the 4 and Tibbs was losing games, y'all would like, Tibbs gotta go.
But he never did that.
Nev, you and I had a conversation last. You and I had a conversation last summer. Me, you, I think Coach. We all had this conversation last summer about when Tibbs played Obi and Obi thrived down the stretch. You were like, he should have been done that. Right? You don't remember saying that?
Much earlier in the year. But that's about 5 games, Freezy. Literally was 5 games towards the end of the season.
But do you remember saying that?
Yes.
Okay. And when Tibbs was losing, and at the end of the season, when the Knicks didn't make the playoffs, were you not on board with getting rid of Tibbs?
Definitely, because he didn't do that.
That's what Ivory just asked you, and you said you would forgive him.
Yes, because
Ivory, didn't you ask him, would you forgive Tibbs?
Yes.
But when he did this last year,
the question, no, he did not do that. After 5 games is not 5. I am not going to give no coach 5 games and tell me they do anything.
But it was not 5 games.
It was 5 games.
No, it wasn't 5 games.
The end of the season, 5 games.
Yeah, it was 5 games. It was 5 games for RJ and Grimes. It was more than that for Randle.
For whom? Randle?
For Randle, yeah.
Randle gets whatever he wants, man. Let's take Randle out of the equation.
I'm not putting Randle in the equation for the sake of for the sake of comparison. Well, I'm putting Randle in the conversation for the sake of Obi playing in his absence. That's the only reason why I brought up Randle's name.
Okay.
Right? I'm not comparing Obi and Randle. I'm saying when Randle was out, that man played at Randle absence.
Yes, he did. And
that's what I'm mentioning. And you said it was 5 games, and I thought it was more than that. I thought it was 12 games.
Okay, well, 12 games. 12, 10 games. If you're talking 25 a quarter of the season, then you can tell me something.
So you're gonna bench your all-star for 25, 33, 30-something games.
But that's the
point.
Obi. That's the point. You shouldn't. It's not pensioner.
Yeah, Randle played 72. It was 10 games. Randle played 72 games last year.
This problem with
Randle played 72 games last year.
The problem with this argument, we're going from one crazy end of the spectrum to another crazy end of the spectrum, and there's a whole bunch of middle ground, and we're not staying in the middle. He can play Randle. He can play Julius.
Nev, we are not doing that. You're just not keeping up.
Yes, that's what we're doing.
No, we are not doing that. We exactly absolutely know what the parameters are set. You want this to be something else. The fact remains is that Randle played 72 games. And in those 10 games where Randle wasn't there, Obi was the starter. And we spoke to that.
Yes, we did.
That's clear. Hey, Ivory, do you understand what I'm saying?
I do.
And Dre, you understand what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
So Nev, how do you not understand what I'm saying?
It's not that I don't understand what you said. We cannot take that 10 games and make it the whole caboodle of the season. It's only 10 games, Freezy.
Right.
So we have to keep
You're
it
saying
that
we can't
within
measure those
that-
10 games as an entirety of the season.
We're trying to listen. That's not the entirety of the season.
Saying, hey, if we had played Obi throughout the whole season more, and we still didn't make the playoffs, I would have been okay and wanted to keep the coach. But now that if he had played Obi throughout the season as much as or at least somewhat as much as he did at the end of the season, he would have been happier. Even if they didn't make the playoffs, he would have said
but Ivory, we get that part. That's understandable. But what I'm saying, and I'm saying this clearly, in those 10 games, Obi Toppin got starters minutes.
Yes,
you're not going to play Obi Toppin starters minutes for 25 or 33 games with Julius Randle being healthy. What are we even talking about? Why is that not clear?
Yeah, that's facts.
Again, this is my issue. We're going from one end of the spectrum to the other end of the spectrum.
No, we not. We're not, Nev.
Yes, we are. This is
Obi Toppin is not going to get 30 games as a starter with Julius Randle healthy.
He's just saying playing more minutes. He's saying there's a middle ground.
He doesn't even have to start.
He's saying why isn't Obi getting 20 minutes?
The problem is that he doesn't have to get 30 games. He doesn't even have to start. But can he get 20 minutes? You know, a combination of some.
No, he can't get 20.
Some backing up Julius, another playing.
So
with
now
Julius.
Randle's getting 25 minutes just so that Obi can develop.
No, Randle minutes we're not cutting Randle minutes.
No, it's about
that's the point here.
Nev's problem or Nev's issue is with the coach, and the minutes that he gives players. Nev believes that Obi can play more with Randle. Obviously, the coach does not believe that, so Nev believes there's a way to work Randle in, a way to work Obi in to play with Randle more. The coach doesn't see it the same way. That's all.
We're at the 5. Obi playing center.
Obi
maybe
plays at the 3, or Julius play at the 3. A big lineup. This must never happen.
At the 3,
that'll never happen.
Why not?
That'll never go down.
Why not?
If you believe Tom Thibodeau is a stubborn mule, if he's a rigid coach, he already has
Here's that argument again.
Obi at the 3.
Of what we should do versus what Tibbs will do. See, this is where we kind of have this problem.
Yeah, man.
Hold on. To Nev's point, the job of the modern small forward is to be able to guard multiple positions, be able to close out, be able to protect the rim at times when called upon.
Right.
Obi cannot do that. So why are we asking him to do that?
What are we talking? Obi at the 3?
Julius to do it. Put Obi.
Julius can't do that. We know Julius can't do that.
Listen, it's not the craziest thing in the world. I mean, listen, we got Josh Hart playing the 3 and he's getting abused. I mean, why? It's not the craziest thing in the world to give a guy a couple of minutes here and there. So I understand that Nev thinks that Obi deserves a few more minutes, even if it's in some crazy lineup. I get it. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
Nev is using his imagination, and I'm with him on that. But listen, if you want to be innovative, because being imaginative and being innovative are two different things, right? Just because your imagination races doesn't mean that you can actually apply it, right? These things. This is if you want to be innovative, right? Then how about go with bigger lineups where you embrace innovation, right? But just because Obi looks like he can do it doesn't mean he can do it. Obi is not a 3. Dude, Obi is not a 5. And so now you're telling your all-star, like, hey, all-star, I'm gonna take you out of your all-star position so that this guy I think can do other stuff can play your spot, and I'm gonna move you off of your all-star position?
Why not? Why not?
Because Obi's not an all-star.
Is it about winning, or is it about just pleasing an all-star player? Is it all about winning? Coaches do that all the time. Other coaches do that all the time. They throw crazy lineups out there all the time. Yeah.
Most of the coaches that throw crazy lineups don't win anything.
They get fired. Look at Stephen Silas. Stephen Silas embraced that thing that you were saying, and they ran him out of town.
He has a whole bunch of young players.
Yeah, and he imagined.
Come on, that's not a fair comparison.
The only
so Obi Toppin's not young. Obi Toppin's not a young player.
Yes, he is.
Oh, okay.
But he played pretty much on a veteran team.
Right.
He's playing pretty much in a veteran team.
No, the rotation is not veteran players.
Yeah, the rotation is 24 and a half years old, man. It's one of the youngest rotations in the league.
It's like if you want to see more Obi minutes, it wouldn't be him at the 3. It would be a 4-5 of him and Randle playing together.
Right.
And Obi takes on the position of being the 4 on offense, and they cross match on defense, whatever.
Right.
But that's the only way that's ever going to happen.
Right. And even in that, you have to have somebody at the 3 that's a very long athletic 3 that can switch when teams run pick and roll, because once Obi gets picked, now you're talking about Emmanuel quickly guarding 4s. What are we talking about?
Obi Toppin on a switch looks like Bambi when he first starts to walk.
Yeah.
I will agree. The kid is gullible to some extent, but it's not that the talent is not there. We just refuse to use this kid in ways that
there's talent, but then there's applying talent in the correct way that is detrimental.
Yeah. The talent is there, and we gotta try to utilize it, and we have to try to get this kid up on speed. We gotta do that.
Or
we're just gonna say, hey, he cannot do this and he cannot do that. And come on, man.
But Nev, the thing you're not taking into account is that the other team is on the floor at the same time too, right?
Yeah,
and when you put Randle at the 5, Obi at the 4, out there with Grimes at the 3, right? The first thing they're doing is
No.
Randle can't play 2 positions.
You still play. I want a big lineup. I want to see a big lineup with one of our centers anchoring that lineup.
So Obi at the 3.
Horrendous spacing, by the way.
Obi at the 3 then.
Obi at the 3 or Julius at the 3, depending on matchup.
Julius Randle at the 3. Oh my God.
What? Dude, you gotta do it.
You like Nev, you're not a fan of spacing, are you?
I'm not. You know what? God. I'm a fan of trying to do a lot of different things that this coach is not trying to do. One of them, because there are times, like I've said this before, there are times when Obi was our best shooter on the floor. So you at that. When he's hot, you can try to utilize him a whole lot more. You
can play this when he's hot angle, Nev, but he's a 34% 3-point shooter.
He's shooting 34% from 3, bro.
Like you can say, oh, when he's hot, then he can play it, but it's like he's hot. What, 1 out of every 5 games?
Hey Nev, I think we can all agree that Obi deserved more minutes than he got. All right, I think that's fair. I think
I can agree.
That's a fact.
That's okay.
If that's where we going, then let's go there. But to say that this cat deserves the team to change around everything that they do just so that he can develop is mind-boggling to me.
No,
I don't. I definitely don't believe that, Frizzy.
He's got to develop under the system that he's in. He's got to develop under the system.
It's going to happen one way, even on this thing or another thing. What we will see, I will guarantee you, we will see that process happening. Even here on different, and we're going to say, if it's on a different team, we are going to say we made a major mistake. I will tell you that right now. But that process will happen at some point. Because that kid is talented.
Dre, who's the better 3-point shooter? Obi Toppin or Julius Randle?
They're about the same, but Julius takes more volume, so
Right.
that
I'm
makes
saying
Julius a better
Julius is
three-point shooter.
Julius is a better 3-point shooter than Obi. Because Julius Randle shoots the same position, shoots the
Breezy,
same
Breezy.
amount, except he shoots them at a higher volume and with primary defenders on him.
Breezy.
And
We're
he,
not
and he,
Top
and he
pitting, we're not
isolates too.
pitting
and
our
So
players against one another,
no,
Freezy. We're not doing that.
no. This is not. I'm not putting players against each other. What I'm saying is we can't say that just because Obi gets hot from three means we should change everything when Randle is a better 3-point shooter than him consistently.
It's all about winning the game, Freezy. That's why you should be doing these
Whoa,
things.
whoa! It's about winning now.
It's about winning the game.
Oh
Hold
no!
on,
Yes,
now
it is about winning that particular game.
come on, self-inflicted wound right here now.
Yes, I would take
Self-inflicted
it
wound.
is about winning the game.
You just you just reenacted Plaxico
In
Burris at the
that
club.
moment, what you're doing in that moment, you actually developing a player. You're giving them more confidence, and you putting them at a position that all of a sudden he is able to feel like he can play. That hasn't happened. That process hasn't happened here.
I agree with you.
That process hasn't happened here.
You got to give them some
So
confidence.
that's why you take advantage of it.
You got to give them some confidence, right? You got to develop them and give them some confidence, right? I agree with you on that. But changing the fabric of the organization, right? Changing the fabric of the organization just for one kid to get to develop, this is it's mind-boggling, bro.
But it's not one kid. It's not. The problem we're having on this thing is just not one kid. The same thing is happening to Grimes in a different way. While Grimes literally doesn't put the ball on the floor when Julius and Bronson are on the floor together. He doesn't. He's not aggressive. He literally stops.
Is that aggression all the time? Coaching? What are you saying? Is that who's at fault for that? What do you?
That's coaching, man. That's coaching.
So, do you think if Grimes can't put the ball on the floor, why is Quickly allowed to put it on the floor? Like
because Quickly has given carte blanche to whatever he wants. He's one of Tibbs guys. He falls in the Tibbs category.
You don't think that's personality? Personality?
When they fall in the Tibbs category of guys, they get to do whatever they want.
I'm gonna stop that. Stop it right there now. Quickly has the confidence, and he's shown at this level with multiple breakout games. Now he didn't have a great playoffs, but we're not about to dismiss that he was second and sixth man of the year, and he should have won sixth man of the year.
And it was a third option.
There were times early in the season when this coach that's when he was still screaming at the players, backing at Quickly to shoot the ball almost every time down.
Because he knows Quickly has talent. There's a reason why he finished second and sixth man of the year. You don't end up there by accident. You need talent, and he should have won it to begin with.
But that's what I'm trying to tell you. He's one of Thibodeau's boys. He treats him as one of his own.
You think Grimes isn't one of Thibodeau's guys?
He picked out Grimes.
He wanted Grimes.
Combine.
That's all we heard. We all heard it. But I don't see Grimes. I don't see him shouting at Grimes to put the ball on the floor and take it to the hole.
I've seen Tom Thibodeau get pissed off that Grimes didn't shoot.
For not shooting. Right. Listen, Grimes has listen, I don't want to get on Grimes because I don't like to get on the really young guys too much. I would just like to say that the Knicks in that middle, in that small forward shooting guard position,
it's a big hole there.
They've got some they've got some fixing to do. We could sit here and talk about our seventh or eighth man off the bench all we want. We can talk about getting a 3-point shooting center with a unicorn, with wings and everything else. We can talk about all that nonsense if we want to. But the fact of the matter is, in the middle of that starting five, we've got a major hole, whether it be defensively, from a small forward position, we don't have a long wing, or from a shooting perspective. Neither one of our guys are putting the ball in the hole. And that's not just due to their ability. That's due to the offense, like you're saying, Nev. That's due to a lot of things that I don't think we're talking enough about, not to offend the show here. I'm happy to join and talk about Obi all night. But I think the main situation here is right in the middle of our starting five. And that's that 2 and 3. But,
Hey, hey, Freezy.
Yo.
My good buddy show and just call me stupid. So can you at least can you put my article out for him so he can get to read it?
Yeah. Hey, so I got it. I want to send mine to you first. I'm about 90% done with it.
Oh, okay.
I just need to get it. I just need to review grammar and punctuation and all of that, and then we could just put them out like right after this. So
sure.
Yeah. But the thing is my man Nev is not stupid. Man. Nev is really, really smart, very intelligent, right? I think sometimes when we disagree, though, I think that our stances cause us to forget who it is that is on the other side. The person on the other side is not our enemy. It's just that person on the other side has a different point of view. And it doesn't make them stupid. It just makes them opposite on that one point. Right? So, it is what it is. Don't take that nothing by that now.
No, I don't.
Yeah. So
and the funny thing is, I think for the most part, we agree with Nev's main point, which is Obi deserved more minutes. And I think that's true. That's a fact. I agree with that myself. Now, how we get there might be different, but I agree with that main point.
Right. Man, Dre got quiet. Did y'all say something to Dre? King Ribby, somebody say something to Dre?
No. I mean, I just said something. You were missing.
Okay. Yeah,
I was APB out on you. I said something. I was talking before. They were just getting to it.
Man, I've been at this desk since like 4:00, man. I
gotta know what Freezy does for a living. This is unbelievable.
It's customers. Well, it's sales and stuff, man. But anyways, what I'm doing today on Memorial Weekend, I'm chilling. Yeah, I'm chilling.
Nobody getting
grilling Impossible Burgers.
Yeah, because
don't do that. Don't do that, DSJ. Nobody eating them fake burgers, man.
Yeah, not anymore. Not anymore, bro. Because no lie, the Impossible Burgers, bro. No matter what I did to them, I ain't even gonna lie. No matter what I did to them, I mean, salsa, seasoning, sauce.
They don't hit the same.
They just don't hit the same. You know what I'm saying?
Impossible.
It tasted like burnt clay.
They're vegan. They're vegan burgers.
Yeah.
Like they're made in a lab somewhere out of cauliflower and all types of made up things.
And chickpeas.
You ever had someone offer you cauliflower wings? That was the most I felt disrespected. Someone offered me
cauliflower wings.
Yes,
cauliflower. I'm about to ask him where's the rest of the broccoli.
Flavored wings.
Yeah, I have
flavored they flavor the cauliflower into like wings of some sort of.
The sauces are supposed to. The sauces are supposed to make you
make you feel like you're eating chicken wings.
Yes,
oh my God.
Okay.
I have 2 bags in my deep freezer right now. So I
feel for you, buddy.
No disrespect, Weezy. I couldn't do it. Do it.
Yeah, man. I'm trying to find ways to try to get back right, man. Health is wealth, and I mean wealth in a mental and emotional place, man. Just make sure for everybody listening, man, make sure you get your health in order, man. You know what I'm saying? And things of that, man. Health is important. So, but anyway,
don't let Tom Thibodeau drive you crazy.
Yeah, don't let my thing is
or Nev's takes. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, brother.
Nev came full circle on a point, man. I was like, what Nev came full circle.
What came back to winning. We gotta win.
Yeah. You got to win and develop at the same time. It's not one or the other.
Very, very few.
Oh, that's a Leon Rose take right there.
Yeah.
Very few teams do that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and I can tell you right now, very few coaches are thinking about development on that level. They're thinking about, listen, I need to win to keep my job. That's it.
The only like teams or coaches that have carte blanche to do that are like OKC or something, where they're full on developmental mode. While they're like building up the talent. Is someone snoring?
Is that
Wait, no.
I know I'm not. I'm in here by myself with Arnold over there.
It-
Arnold is
it
over there in
ain't
the
me.
15.
Arnold.
Yeah, but yeah, man. But to the point about Obi, man, I think if we honestly look at things for what they are, we always things happen. It's as simple as the more aggressive, assertive people in your sphere tend to get more things go their way.
Yeah.
Like like
Yes, I
like
agree.
like luck and fortune and things of that probably are gonna come to those that work. But in our capitalist society, we have a capitalist mindset where the one that grinds the most or the hardest is the one that's gonna be successful. The one that's persistent is gonna be the winner. And since we have that mindset, we look at Randle, who is a grinder, and one who saw he ground his way from the Lakers to the Pelicans, up the ladder with the Knicks, and all these things to his way to an all-star game, all MVP. I mean, all NBA type player. And then we watch the heir to the throne not have his way, and we're frustrated that it's not handed to him. Right? How about Obi beat out Randle for those extra minutes? Can we do that?
No, that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I don't think Knicks fans understand the metamorphosis that Julius Randle has gone through in the last 3 to 4 years here in New York.
Right.
He has gone through absolute hell, and came back and was an all NBA player.
Right.
We can sit here and wish that he be gone. We can say whatever the hell we want. The fact of the matter is, there's very few people that have the gall and have the ability to do what he just did in New York City.
Well, as long as you're paying.
He went through hell. We all wanted him gone.
Right.
And he came back stronger. Who does that in New York?
In New York?
In New York City. Who does that? We can sit here and poo-poo it all we want. And Nev, you can I can see that little schmur on your face, whatever. That's fine. But I'm telling you right now, that does not happen in this city very often. People fold and go away. They melt. Right. And they ask for a trade and they go.
Right.
To go through the hell that he's gone through and be where he is, I got nothing but respect for him. I understand that he didn't show up in the playoffs. I get it. But we need to recognize. I mean, we need to recognize, man. I mean, we should need to be proud. We need to be happy and proud that we have a Randle right now. I mean, that's my opinion.
My only issue with your take is that most of the hell Randolph went through is he who put himself in hell. Yeah,
self-inflicted.
Yeah, it's self-inflicted. Thank you.
Self-inflicted. What? Turning over the ball?
No. It was never about it was never about Julius' game. Julius' game was not the problem. It was more the attitude and disrespecting the fans that created the problem. So that's
he was hated by the fans well before he disrespected them. He was hated well before he disrespected the fans.
Right.
He was hated and then loved.
Yeah, it was like a hate-or-love affair.
So it went from hate to love.
Right.
And then love and back to love.
Well, they disliked him off rip because he wasn't Kevin Durant. Off rip.
We didn't get KD. We didn't get Kyrie. We brought him in.
We didn't get Jimmy Butler.
We didn't get Zion.
We didn't get Zion. Yeah.
Any All-Stars.
We got RJ.
Randle was our consolation prize, and we didn't like it.
Yeah.
Be honest. When we signed Randle, we were like, oh, man, who was Julius Randle? And then when we signed Marcus Morris away from San Antonio, remember Marcus Morris agreed to 2 years, 20 with San Antonio, but didn't sign the contract. And we offered him 1 year for 15. And he was like, oh, snap, I can get 15 and be a free agent again next year. Yeah. I'll take that. And we embraced Marcus Morris.
Oh, loved him. Gave him the ball every time down the court. I mean, he was our number one for the year.
He was our Melo, bootleg Melo.
Offense looked terrible because he came here to play for another bag, right? He came here to play for another bag, so the offense looked terrible, and we blamed Randle.
And Randle came here to be in New York.
Yep.
He didn't come here just to make money. He came here because he wanted New York. So the guys that want to be here, the guys that give us everything, the Mitchell Robinsons that work for less than what they less than what they're worth. The guys that give everything, we absolutely crap on, and I don't understand it. I don't get it. I've seen show after show people talking about 3-point shooting centers. We got to open up the floor. We got to do this. We got to do that. Meanwhile, we're looking for a 3-point shooting center. We don't have a 3-point shooting guard.
Right. Hello.
3-point shooting small forward.
Hello.
But we got to talk about a 3-point shooting or a center that's going to spread the floor.
We out here talking about trade for Karl Anthony Towns when our shooting guard won't shoot.
And I'm sorry. I just get. It just frustrates me.
RJ, but to Ivory's point, and I honestly can't believe we are agreeing, right? And Ivory, listen, Ivory 10 and I have probably done about 7 shows back to back where we totally disagree for 90 straight minutes, respectively. Intellectually, we disagree, but today we agree. And honestly, I'm in a weird place. I don't know what to do with my hands right now because Ivory and I agree.
The average center in the NBA averages 10 points a game. Mitchell Robinson averages 7.6 points a game. So for that 2.4 points, what are we willing to do? Give up that defensive stopper, the guy that came up through our organization, the guy that's giving us stability? Are we going to give up the coach that's actually giving us some stability now? I mean, we need to get real about some of this stuff. Forget about getting rid of the coach, getting rid of Randle. This is nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. And I'm not saying that we can't survive without either one. I'm saying these two people have been the mainstays and have been what has given this organization stability. The one thing that we have not had, and I don't know how long, is stability and a culture. And yes, Randle brings a lot of negative stuff to the table. I get it. I get it. But we need to chill. We need to just chill and stop bashing guys and think about how we can get better instead of how we can replace people. How can we get better? I understand that if there's some big-time centers available, okay, if we can upgrade, I understand. If we can upgrade, I get it. But let's not just look to like replace guys just for the hell of it. I mean, this is getting ridiculous.
Right, including Obi.
Including our 8th man off the bench. We don't need to replace.
Why are we trying to replace? Why are we trying to replace? Yeah, I get it. But here's my thing. To Ivory's point, RJ Barrett didn't work out for the Memphis Grizzlies prior to the draft. You know why? Because he wanted to. If he wasn't going to be the number 1 overall pick, he wanted to be a Knick, right? He wasn't going to work out for anybody else. He was like, yo, so if I'm not the number 1 pick, I'm not working out for nobody else. I only want to. The dude came to New York and stayed with Steve Mills at his apartment during the pre-workout process. During the pre-draft workout process. He and his family was chilling with Steve Mills. You know what I'm saying? RJ wants to be here. And you know what people say on a daily on this show? Get rid of RJ Barrett. You know what I mean? So I agree with you there. The cats that want to be here, we want to ship them out of town. The cats that we always looking out the window.
With the grass is always greener, it seems, and I'm not innocent of this. I've been the same way as well. Right now, I'm the first one to say, listen, right now, RJ Barrett's value is pretty good. He had a terrible year, but for some reason, everyone thinks he's the man now because he had a good playoffs. Maybe this is the time to trade RJ. But is it something that we need to rush to do? Of course not. Is it for an upgrade? Of course. If it's not for an upgrade, then of course you don't do it. But listen, we watched RJ struggle big time last year. He was the 4th option on this team. Quickly replaced him as our 3rd option. And now for everyone to be like, yeah, RJ, the playoffs, 11 games, people. That was 11 games versus 2 teams that didn't have a small forward. Of course, Butler was playing more, like he was all over the place. He was, he played RJ, but the Cavs didn't even have a small forward that could check RJ.
Right.
So he's playing well now. People think he's the man. This is the time to trade him when his value's good. I don't want to trade him necessarily, but if we're gonna, now is the time, in my opinion. He comes out and
Well,
has
I mean, here's a counter to that, right? Maybe this is the time for him to expand his game, to showcase why the contract is justified and why what you saw in the playoffs wasn't just a one-off. Before we talk about
that's a
trading
weird
him,
statement. That's kind of a strange statement, Delano. You say now is the time for him, but what is that? But how does that metamorphose? How does that come to fruition? Now might be the time, but
well,
last year was the time too because he could have earned a bigger contract. Why is now the time as opposed to last year?
well, in terms of the criticism, right? The criticism is fair, right? You know what I'm saying? As far as RJ's, slow starts to the season and how, we're continuously seeing the inefficiencies. But what you saw in the playoffs was first off, a different approach to his offense, right? Which gave him some of those numbers that we're looking at, and okay, well, he's not as bad as I thought he was. So what you're looking for now is consistency. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to saying, okay, well, now let's trade him because he showcased something well. Now, what if he added this into the regular season and those slow starts weren't slow starts anymore? What if he becomes one of those?
Don't you think
say again?
I'm sorry, Delano. Don't you think he was a little bit inconsistent even in the playoffs? I mean, I think RJ is going to struggle with consistency through his career when it comes to shooting and etc. I mean, if you look at his playoff numbers, he was not good in 4 out of those 11 games. Or 3 out of those 11 games. I mean,
and what was Julius?
Statistically, his numbers are exactly the same in the playoffs as they were in the regular season.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, as far as there's a hold on, because there was a lot more like 25 and 26 points per game. There was a lot more consistency in terms of the way he was playing defense. I mean, that was kind of the biggest thing that we talked about. So in terms of looking at it from the aspect of let's get rid of him now, let's challenge him to bring that level of consistency to the regular season. Because then again, if he goes to another team after such a high trade value and becomes an all-star somewhere else because he's consistently doing this now, the first thing you're thinking is, well, why wasn't he doing that as a Knick? Well, because you got rid of me.
Well, remember, we're going to be trading him for someone of all-star quality, right? We're not trading him for some just role player. We're trading him for someone of all-star quality. I'm not saying let's just get rid of him. I'm saying, hey, if we're looking to upgrade and get like a taller, more defensive, better shooting small forward, now might be the time to do it when his value is higher than where it was. I'm not saying let's just get rid of him, but I think what you're also saying is let's motivate. This is the time to really challenge RJ and get him going. And yeah, that you sound like a great coach, Delano. I think you might be a coach in the background, maybe, because these are good things that we want him to do, but there's nothing that says that he's really going to pick up the pieces and do this, right? RJ has been good at going to the hoop for a pretty long time now. He knows he's better going to the hoop than he is taking threes. Yeah. Yet and still, he really hasn't embraced that so much, except for these last 11 games in the playoffs. And even then, it was still somewhat inconsistent, his play. Because, like I said, his stats are exactly the same. 43% shooting from the field, 35 from three. Actually, 33% from three during the regular season, 35% during the playoffs, which is average, and that's fine.
That's about the same. I mean,
right, it's about the same
because
so
it's a smaller sample size.
Right. So I'm just saying there was not a big difference there. So it's like, are we ever really going to see a consistent RJ? And I think this is the kind of player that might struggle for his whole career shooting. This guy's going to go through slumps back and forth. If we're going to get better, I think now's the time. If we're going to get better, now's a pretty good time because RJ's got a good reputation right now. People,
Right.
Hey, folks, I gotta go. I got work. See, Frizzy, if anything, to give me a buzz. Okay?
Oh, okay, I'll do that.
All right.
Take care now.
Yeah, all right. Later, folks.
All right.
Later.
So that's all I'm saying. I just think that the value is good now. That's all.
Yeah, I can see that, and I understand what you're saying with that.
Because up until the playoffs started, even if the day before the playoffs started, RJ's value was in the tank, right? He had a horrible year. Everyone was talking about it. And then as soon as the playoffs started, after those 11 games, now it's like people are like, oh, I want to keep RJ. RJ's a keeper. He's a keeper. And it's like 11 games. I don't know, folks. This might be the time to really reconsider that. So that's the only place I'm coming from when it comes to getting better.
Okay. All right. So my thing to that is all right. If the Knicks are getting better, if the Knicks are getting better, if the roster is improving consistently, then okay. I'm with either. You know what I mean? I don't think any of us in here want to attach ourselves to a player despite what the team's record is. You know, we all are invested in the team getting better overall, whether we agree on how the team gets better or not, whether it's trade the young pieces for a stud or let the young pieces develop into quality NBA players. I guess it depends on what your preference is. Like in my mind, the only step up from here is, or the only step we should take from here is trying to build on our playoff performances. We made the playoffs 2 out of 3 years. The 1 year we missed it in the last 3 seasons is that we had a lot of injuries. And so we didn't have the requisite pieces to fill in, especially at point guard.
Cats was washed.
Yeah.
We just stunk. We stunk.
Yeah, but we could have during that season, we could have made some moves to kind of keep our heads above water. Like we could have traded for Randle to at least put a veteran on the floor with these young kids when Kemba and Derrick Rose were out and Alec Burks was the starting point guard. We could have, at a bare minimum, did that for ourselves, right? But the only thing about that is how would Tom Thibodeau gel with Rajon Rondo at point guard?
Not to cut you off, didn't he get traded to the Lakers?
You love him.
No, he got
that was before.
No, he got
traded to the Cavs.
To Cleveland.
Low turnovers, good ball handling, sets up player. He would have loved. I think he'd love Rajon Rondo. He'd love Rondo. Rondo's a perfect Tibbs guy. Plays good D.
Well, you'd say that in theory, but Carlisle is kind of like Tibbs in that regard, and he butted heads with Carlisle, I believe.
And
on the
Mavericks, not a good communicator either.
I'm just thinking style of play.
I agree. I agree with you on that, but Tibbs is not really a good communicator. Like he's not. Well, let me say this: he's a great communicator. He's not personable, right? And there's a difference. Like having a good personality and relaying a message is one thing, and then being a dictator relaying a message is another thing. You know what I mean? And sometimes the dictatorial means of communicating and dispensing information sometimes intimidates not even just young players, just players in general. You know what I'm saying?
The yelling gets old. That's all. The yelling, constant yelling gets old.
Tibbs the tyrant.
Yeah. It's one of them. It's one of them things, man. Where last season could have been, and I say it's last season. Geez, I guess it's two seasons ago. We could have salvaged that season and maybe have made a run. But at one point where you got Julius Randle playing through the thigh contusion and Grimes was getting hurt like every 15 games, and nothing against Grimes, because what they put Grimes through kind of led to him getting hurt. Like they had him doing all this weird stuff, man, getting that kid hurt.
I would say, Freezy, I would say that, it worked to our benefit because we got a better draft pick, but of course we don't take our draft pick. So what difference does it make?
Yeah, with this,
Freezy. I was gonna ask this point. Is this Josh Hart trade gonna be like the Marcus Morris trade for the Clippers, where they traded a first rounder for him? First rounder ended up being Emmanuel Quickley, and we love that the fact that we got Emmanuel Quickley for Marcus Morris. We gave up what if Portland gets a really good player at 25, 26, and we're holding the bag on Josh Hart and regretting that contract 2 years later? Kind of like how the Clippers are regretting the
regretting the Marcus Morris thing. Yeah,
because they traded him for a first, so they had to sign him.
Yeah,
and ultimately he hasn't really been a difference maker for them.
Yeah, and he's making 16, and he's another energy guy, role player guy making 16-17 million dollars a year that you stuck with his contract. You get a good half a season from him, and then you regret the other 3.5 years of it. Is that what you want to do with Josh Hart? That's what you're asking me?
That's my question is, what happens if we actually get better at shooting guard or small forward? What are we doing with that $16.5 million? Because it's not going to be 18, right? They release 18 to the public, but that means it'll be 15, 16, 17, 18, 16.5 average, right? So what do we so my point is, why are we locking in a seventh man before we have a starting lineup? Before we have our starters, why are we locking in a seventh man? It makes no sense to me. And by the way, what happens if Grimes does reach his potential? What happens if RJ is reaching his potential? That means the contract is still worthless. That means it's still a bad contract. So
then it'll make it even harder to move.
Right. And have we not learned our lesson with Evan Fournier?
Overpaying role players.
Yeah, have we not learned our lesson from Evan Fournier? What are we doing? This is the thing that I'm baffled by. Like, did we not learn our lesson from cats like Doug McDermott?
There's nothing in Josh Hart's skill set that states he should be making that much money.
Or years.
Yeah. We need Dougie though.
Ribby want that shooter.
Here's the only thing, though. Here's the only thing, and I'm not a Josh Hart guy. I will argue against it all day. Until we have our starters, I don't see why we're locking in a seventh or eighth man. What I do want to give some credence to is the mental part of the game and that mental toughness that he brings. He did bring something special that our players, I think it shocked our players. I think they were all like, holy, look, wow. I think he shocked our players in what he brought to the table. And the only reason why I give that some credence is because I was talking earlier about Julius Randle. And, he's not my guy, but there's something mentally tough about these dudes, man. I mean, you can't replace that mental toughness. You just can't. I mean, we've seen guy fold after fold that comes to this town, and these guys are not folding. They're not. They're getting stronger. They're getting better. We saw them overachieve, and maybe there's something to it.
But when you say this, we're still talking about a seventh man off the bench that got schemed out.
No doubt about it.
In the last series. So to that point, like, you can be as tough-minded as you want to be, but if you ain't skilled, then you get played out of a series in a heartbeat.
But he found a way to be impactful, and
in the prior series, not in this one, not in the last one.
Sure, but you know what? That happens, right? I mean, that's only 5-6 games. I mean, that happens. That happens.
It happens when you're a role player, and we need to start treating him as such. Like the continuity thing, I get it. Like I completely get it.
He's a role player. That's all he is.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, a role player has a role, but for a certain cost.
Exactly. And then you're stuck holding the bag for a guy that's his best skill is rebounding, and he's 6'4", and he's gonna be 30 years old making $17 million. Then you're stuck in a position where you're trying to pivot.
I feel you. I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. But Mitchell Robinson wasn't quite as effective as I wanted him to be in that series either.
That's fair.
But I'm not going to kill him because
But that's the thing. Effective how?
He wasn't as impactful in the game.
Impactful how?
Impactful rebounding and making a difference in the game. I think he definitely made a difference defensively. Guys were not bringing it to the hole when they saw him there.
So he wasn't impactful offensively.
He wasn't. Yeah. No, he wasn't as impactful in the game as much as he normally is. Even defensively, he wasn't as impactful as he normally is. So I think it's about overall impact, not necessarily impact on one side or the other. Because if you do what you need to do on that defensive side, that could be enough, especially at the center position.
That was because of the heat. I think he's referring to.
Okay, I would say this to you, Irie, about that, man. About Mitch, about Randle, about Obi, about Grimes, about RJ, and it's tough saying this because Tibbs got us to the second round of the playoffs. But there were times when Tom Thibodeau was utterly and embarrassingly outcoached by Eric Spoelstra, right?
Yeah.
And as fans, we always blame the players. I think at some point when your army fails, you have to start pointing at the generals. You know what I mean?
I think there's enough blame to go around for sure.
Right, probably, right. But there are times where you would say, "Hey, man, why are we not doing this, and this right here?" Well, instead of saying that, why won't we kind of take a step back instead of being laser focused? Why don't we take an eagle-eyed view at certain things sometimes, right? Sometimes we are laser focused on a certain thing, which means we can't focus on anything outside of that laser, right? If we take a bird's eye view and look at it, sometimes Tibbs just got outcoached.
Clearly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so you can't blame Obi, right? You can't blame Obi because all Obi does is follow my marching orders. You can't blame Grimes. You can't blame Quickly. You can't blame RJ because at some point, man, all you can do is follow marching orders or be labeled uncoachable and, dare I say, not get minutes from the dude that's in charge. Either do it my way or sit on the bench.
Like, Freezy, we literally saw us go 5 minutes in an elimination game without Brunson or Randle on the court at the same time.
In
the first half.
What are we doing?
Like, who even okayed that? Why was that even? Did he fall asleep at the wheel? Like,
yes. Yes. Did he have a blind spot? Yes.
With this front office.
But that blind spot is inexcusable for like an NBA lifer going against another team. Like, there is not a minute. Like, there's not a minute that goes by where Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown are not on the court. Like, they alternate, or Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo, they alternate. Those are the top two guys, right?
How incredibly unusual for Tibbs to do that, though, from the guy who plays his guys all the time. I thought that was just a crazy move,
Right.
I don't.
Right. I'm gonna do the super chats real quick.
Bet.
All right. Paris Duggar in the place to be. Okay. Paris Duggar, thank you for the generous contribution. And Paris Duggar says, here's your answer about why Josh Hart. We don't beat Cleveland within Josh Hart without Josh Hart stopping Donovan. But 2, JB wants him here and can opt out in 2 years if not. Okay. All right. And Paris Duggar, thank you for the generous contribution. Paris Duggar says the Brunsons and Leon will make all decisions now. What? Did you say the Brunsons and Leon?
The New York Brunsons
will make. Oh, so now we're the New York Brunsons. Oh boy, Paris Duggar, thank you for giving me a title to a show, the New York Brunsons.
Nepotism at its finest.
Yeah, man. I honestly feel like if it's one of those things where we're paying paying Hart to keep Brunson happy, we really have to consider the Brunson relationship. And no disrespect to Brunson, because I think he's a megastar, right? But when it becomes taking care of family, it becomes nepotism, right? It's as simple as that. Are you guys? Do you really want to go back down that CAA road of nepotism? Do you really want to sign Chris Smith just because J.R. Smith wants him on the roster?
I mean, Patrick Ewing Jr. was on our team.
Patrick Ewing Jr. Oh my God,
that boy was trash. I'm sorry.
He was worse than Thanasis.
He wasn't as bad as Smith Jr. That's for sure. He wasn't as bad as the Smith brother.
Chris Smith Jr.
At least Junior played for Georgetown. You know, at least he played for a D1 school.
No. Chris Smith played for a D1. He played for Louisville.
Yeah, he played.
Oh, did he? Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah. He was just trash. He was just not an NBA player.
The only reason why he got to Louisville was
because of
nepotism. Yeah.
At its finest.
What's up, Bully? Bully in the chat.
Yeah, Bully is in the building. What's good, Bully?
But
so
I don't like. I'm not against Josh Hart. I'm just the right price. That's all. Like, you can't be overpaying seventh men if your top guys aren't already set in stone. Like, put it this way.
I agree.
Malcolm Brogdon makes $22 million, right?
Okay.
That's okay to do that when you got two All NBA players,
right,
in your starting lineup, like set in stone, and that you know what you're going to get out of them when it comes playoff time, right?
Right.
You don't pay $18 million to a seventh guy if you're still figuring out the hierarchy of your team.
It's going to be 16-5, Jay. Watch. It'll be 16-5.
And that's about $5 million too much for me.
That's about $4 million too much for me. But anyway, my point is, Dre, you can absolutely do that. You can absolutely pay dudes a bunch of money to sit on your bench.
Yeah, we just did.
We just did it for 2 years.
I think,
but the thing is, when we did that, RJ wasn't making what he making now.
Right.
We just added Mitchell Robinson wasn't making what he's making now. We just added in a guy, Brunson, and he's worth every penny, but he's on our payroll right now.
Right.
Like, Randle's ascending, and he's on our payroll still.
It's head scratching. It's head scratching that they would go out and try and sign the seventh, eighth man before they lock in who their starting five is going to be, right? It's not like we're a championship team that needs one extra dude to get over the hump. They're signing this dude way too early. And that leads me back to that conversation you just mentioned, Freezy, is this about the family? Is this about the CAA family, or is it about the Knicks?
Right.
I think it's that and Tibbs. Tibbs wanted Josh Hart when he came out of college.
Bro, I wanted Josh Hart. I wanted Josh Hart so bad. I couldn't stand it, bro. Every time I would play 2K, I would trade a player for Josh Hart, bro. No lie. Dre.
He was trading players for a 6'4" power forward.
Yes.
That's not named Charles Barkley.
Yeah. You know why? Because he would when I played with him, he would get the rebound and pass it to me. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that's what he does in real life. He will get the rebound, not look at the rim, and pass it.
Yeah.
That's funny.
His shot tendency is at like 20. His shot tendency is at like 20.
His shot tendency is at 20. Oh my! That mean he don't even. Yeah. So
that man was at the 3-point line looking for a dribble handoff, like he's not a 6'4" guard. Like he was doing dribble handoffs, like he's a big man at the 3-point line.
That man.
He was looking for a man to do a weave with, by himself, uncovered at the 3-point line.
He a 6'4" guard. He a 6'4" guard. That's a roll man.
Oh man!
Oh my God! Yeah, I cannot. No, I can't do it, bro. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I can't, bro. I have to get for a guy that's gonna be in Hart's role, a guy that's gonna come in tandem. When you see Hartenstein quickly and the third guy at the table, I need for that third guy to be a shooter. Right, I need for that third guy to be somebody that can space the floor for Brunson and RJ and for Randle. But even with that said, I need somebody that's going to be somebody that can break down the defense on their own and create a shot for themselves or others.
You know, we need that more than anything. Like everyone keeps saying, we need shooters. we need a baller is what we need. We need a dude who can pass, dribble, shoot is what we need. We need a guy who can put the ball on the floor and create something either for himself or someone else, because we can't rely on Brunson to do it all.
Sounds like you want Karis LeVert.
Yep. I wouldn't mind having them. I wouldn't mind going Karis LeVert, Josh Richardson, and Grant Williams.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind it. Now, and it's not the sexiest thing in the world, right? But you'll still have salary cap money left over. You won't go
up a lot of holes right there.
Yeah. Because Karis LeVert can sometimes be your one. Sometimes I'm not talking about. I'm not game planning.
He could just initiate on occasion. He doesn't have to do it all the time.
But he's your backup 2 and 3, right? Maybe starter when Grimes is not Grimes, right? He can fill in for RJ when RJ's not RJ. Josh Richardson can fill in for all of them guys, and Grant Williams is the do-it-all big that can guard some threes, most 4s and 5s,
and 40% from 3.
Excuse me, what's not to cut you off? What's the pay
for Grant Williams?
For all these guys you named?
Yeah, it's gonna like
probably about $45 million
altogether
per year.
I think Grant Williams is probably gonna get paid anywhere from $8 to like $12 million just for his skill set.
Yeah, I would do that. As a matter of fact, he's restricted, right?
Yeah, and the Celtics may not pay him because they're gonna turn around and pay Jaylen Brown his money.
Yeah, they got to.
Without a doubt, they got to. And Malcolm Brogdon's making a ton of money next year, making $22 million. They're like, and the apron and all that stuff that comes in the account.
Would you just trade him for Obi straight up? Would you trade him for Obi straight up?
Oh yeah. Well, considering how Tibbs uses his 4s, 3/4s.
Exactly.
He would put Grant in the corner, and Grant would hit 3s, and Grant would play defense. That's basically all you'd be asking for.
Yeah. and he's a super high character guy that fits in with what you're looking to do with your roster already. He's gonna be at some point. He's gonna be the president of the Players Union. You already know that. You know what I'm saying? The dude. So he's gonna be connected with players. He's a high IQ defender and a high IQ offensive player, right? And so while he's not the athlete that others are, he makes up for it with IQ and instincts. Plus, he fits Tom Thibodeau's mold of the chubby guy. Right? Dre, am I
but he's, at least he's 6'7", 6'8" instead of 6'4".
Right.
He might deceive Tibbs. Tibbs might think he's 6'5".
Yeah, it ultimately, I'm not even gonna lie to you. Ultimately, what it comes down to with Obi Toppin is Tom Thibodeau doesn't like the Obi Toppin basketball profile. Period. Obi Toppin is 6'9"ish, somewhere in that neighborhood. Athletic, lean frame guy that is not a lover of contact. Let me put it that way. Whereas Tom Thibodeau prefers
he's a finesse athlete.
Yeah, Tom Thibodeau prefers rugged, tough athletes.
Tom Thibodeau wants
he prefers more of a half court offense kind of guy as opposed to the full court running up and down kind of offense. He doesn't look at that as coaching. He looks at that as just like the players going crazy, doing what they want to do. That's not his game. He wants to control the game.
Structure.
Half court offense. And I don't think he sees Obi as a half court offensive type of player.
Which is why he has him in the corner taking a bunch of threes.
Right. But Grant Williams in that role in the corner taking a bunch of threes,
it will be perfectly fine.
Yeah, I think
that's what he
takes
does.
us to the next. Yeah, I think that takes us to another level.
I don't know about that.
What is his percentage?
40.
Damn.
Yeah, I don't know because remember he's still not going to play that much because if he can't protect the rim, he's not playing with Randle.
If he play like he guards 3s and 4s,
right?
So
okay.
Do you think Tibbs would puld him in there at the 5 or at the
not at the 5?
No, at the 5.
Not at the 5.
He wouldn't have to go. You already have.
He would back up. He would back up Randle or play some minutes at the 3 alongside Randle.
Yeah.
Really? I would be surprised if Tibbs would put him at the 3, but that that's cool. I don't.
That's his. Like, think of what's his name, Jay Crowder. He does Jay Crowder stuff.
Yeah, except he's more physical, more stout than.
Yeah, he's more
stout. No. I get it. I get it. But with Hart on the roster, with Grimes on the roster, with IQ still on the roster.
True. That's it.
Him playing. Okay. I mean, listen.
But that would mean that would be saying Obi's out. Then that would fill the void of Obi minutes on top of whatever minutes he scrounges at the 3. So like hypothetically speaking,
like 17,
he would be scrounging like the backup 3 minutes and backup 4 minutes.
So he's probably getting 16, 18 minutes a game.
More than that. I would say around
like 20, 23.
22, somewhere around there.
If he's lucky, right? If Randle is having a good year, he's probably. I mean, but I look at him as a really positive player. I mean, he's a guy he's a winner. I look at him as a winner. That But I don't know if Tibbs going to find room for him. Is what I'm getting at. I mean.
Yeah,
if he does the things that Tibbs wants, he will find room for him, just like Josh Hart did.
Well, I would say this to you though. The intangible things that Tom Thibodeau would like in an NBA player, Grant Williams does them instinctively. Like all the little intangible stuff, like the physical contact, the hitting the free throws at a high rate, the 3-point shooting, the defending multiple positions, the being physical on screens, the taking on the challenge of guarding the other team's best wing.
Love it.
He does that instinctively, right? He'll wake up in the morning and do that.
But
you can wake him up in the middle of the night and he thinks that right away, right? But there are other things that he does that you don't notice during the game, like split-second decision making. He catches the ball and 2 guys are open. Randle is trying to find his shot from 3, and Brunson has a mismatch on the other side. He automatically going to Brunson because Brunson has been automatic. Because now's not the time for Randle to try to find his shot, right? These split second in-game things that if it was Obi and Obi was in that spot, Randle would be screaming, Obi!
I'm not even going to compare him to Obi because
I'm not comparing him to Obi.
I appreciate Obi for what he does.
I'm not saying Obi was bad though, Ivory. What I'm saying is
what he
in
does
that spot,
too.
these guys in these spots, Julius Randle's gravity would cause them to get him the ball in that spot, is what I'm saying. I'm not saying just because it's Obi. What I'm saying is Grant Williams thinks the game at a higher level.
He's an IQ player. 100%. I just want to see Tibbs actually play these guys together. I would need to see that to believe it. With Grant was probably like, what is he, 6'7", something like that. I would need to see Tibbs want to say, okay, I'm going to play him at the 3 or at the 5. I would, if he would do it. I just think Tibbs is so set in his ways sometimes when it comes to defensive rotations and rim protection that I'm not sure what he's capable of doing. And I know he loves kind of like these little guys that can get over screens. You know what I'm saying? So I'm wondering where this big, strong Grant comes in, and he's at the power forward. And that's also where Julius is. So listen, this isn't about anti-him. I think he's a great player. I'd love to have him on the team.
But he's a 3-4 though. He's a 3-4 though, not 4 only.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why Dre said he's more of a Jay Crowder type, where he's a 3-4. He could do a lot of different things. The major thing though is if you like high IQ players, Grant Williams is your man.
He
Yeah. I'm thinking as soon as he gets here, he'll probably be the highest IQ on this team. Easy.
But can we take advantage of it by getting him enough minutes? This is not a guy. I think that sounds like a guy that needs to play 28 minutes a game. I mean, that for the Knicks, we need that guy for 25 to 28 minutes a game. I mean, a guy that can knock down the 3, get a rebound, play tough, be a leader. We need that all day long. That's what we want Julius to be honest with you.
Well, let me ask you this: does Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum – get the Celtics to the Eastern Conference Finals 2 years in a row by themselves?
I don't believe they do. No.
Right. You have to put some help around them. And Grant Williams, a 4th-year player, was one of those guys. You know what I'm saying? Nobody in life achieves the highest goals that they set forth by themselves. Everybody needs help along the way.
No,
right?
100%. I'm just looking at his fit with Julius. That's all I'm thinking.
He's to me, he is okay. Dre, I'm gonna say this, bro, and I know you're gonna laugh at me, but it's okay. I've been laughed at before. You know what I'm saying? I could take, you know what I'm saying? I could take it like a big matter of fact. Let me read the super chat first. Paris Duggan, thank you for the generous contribution. Paris Duggan says, didn't Josh take and make the game winner game 1 versus Cleveland? Yeah. Did he create that shot though? I ain't taking nothing away. I ain't taking that away from Josh Hart. But
I have only one question to ask. Why didn't Brunson pass him the ball at the end of that game?
Because he wasn't going to make it.
He saw him. He saw him for sure. He saw his best friend wide open.
Right. And
but we also notice like he is 6'1", and Bam was zoning up that area. So even if you were to kick it to him, Bam would have either been close enough to intercept it, deflected, or Josh for damn sure would not have put up.
Yeah. And then plus two, I think the question should be, why didn't Josh Hart go to Brunson to get the ball?
Yeah, if you would have went to around the break, it would have spaced the court indirectly, and then Grimes would have come around a little bit above the break.
That's not.
It's not fair, but
It's Ivory. Listen, I'm not knocking people's basketball IQ, but guards play in tandem. When one guard is in trouble, the other guard has to go to that guard to bail him out. That's why you put 2 of them on the floor at the same time. Now, I'm not saying that he should have went all the way over to Brunson where one defender can guard 2 guys, but if he would have been made an open enough path, why didn't Josh Hart get open so Brunson can throw him an easy pass?
Well, let's be honest. Hart was open. Okay, he wasn't in a good passing lane for the ball. I admit that. Okay, that's it's easy to shut down a passing lane on Jalen Brunson. Okay, it's a pretty.
It was bad floor balancing.
So my thing is he was wide open, but I'm just starting a little trouble. I'm just saying, listen, if Brunson doesn't trust him enough to throw him the ball when he's wide open, why the hell are we signing this guy? So that's
I agree with you. I agree with you on that. See, because Josh Hart.
How are we even closing the game with him to begin with?
Why is he on the same side of the floor with Jalen Brunson when he's not a shooter?
Clearly, first of all, why didn't we had a timeout? Why didn't we call timeout?
This because we had to let Brunson dance. Brunson is a dancer. He was in there dancing. We had to let him do his thing. And so you don't know when it's open, when you're not open, when because he's in, he's out. Next thing you know, he's in trouble. So it's like a split second kind of thing. So it was,
And Tibbs did make the adjustment. Randle was on the floor in theory with 4 guards, right? Brunson was on the floor with 3 other guards and Randle, right? And the 3 other guards didn't make a baseline guard play. Right now, and think about this: if Jalen,
that's not fair. Hold on, Miami had the paint on lock. You saw all 4. They had at least 4 guys in the paint. So there was the only cutter that even tried to cut was Randle, and he was.
But we're not talking about Ivory. We're not talking about cutting. The reason why Miami was allowed to do that is because those guards didn't do baseline guard stuff. If our guards had did baseline simple textbook guard stuff, that defense that you saw in that moment would have been different.
Miami balancing would have been
Miami
better.
was reacting to what the Knicks put on the floor. They were not dictating to the Knicks in that moment. They were reacting. That's why you saw Heat players like zoning up, looking at pass lanes and all of that stuff.
And that's why Bam was at the top of the key, ignoring Josh Hart because he didn't respect his jumper to begin with.
Right.
That's why Josh Hart was open ultimately.
Right. Paris says, why? Because our record with Hart, again, this is a dummy argument, right? Paris Duggar. I'm just saying, this is that was my warning. I'm not gonna say what I want to say right now, right? But what I will say is the last 3 years under Thibodeau, the Knicks in 2021 finished the season 16-4. In 2022, finished the season 12-8. In 2023, finished the season 12-8. And for you to say Josh Hart is the reason why the Knicks finished the season strong, you may need to go back and look at the Knicks record, the last 20 games of each season with Tom Thibodeau, before you say stuff like Josh Hart was the reason why the Knicks got hot down the stretch, right? That is the olive branch, right? I'm just letting you know what you said didn't make sense, right? The Knicks under Tom Thibodeau finished the season strong every year, and just because Josh Hart got here and was a part of one doesn't mean Josh Hart was the reason why the Knicks finished the season strong. Go back to the drawing board. My bad, Dre.
Yeah, you good, but it's the poor floor balancing and the lack of being a threat from the perimeter was the reason Josh Hart was open, and that was the reason why Brunson probably didn't want to pass in the ball, because if he passed in the ball, Brunson's in Brunson's line of thinking he's not going to get that ball back.
It was one of those rhetorical questions that you guys hate to hear all the time. I know the answer, and my point was just more about, but it was more about like, okay, so we all know the reason why. So what are we doing? You know, what are we really doing when we're talking about signing a dude? But listen, $15.5 million. There's a lot worse ways to spend $16.5 million. That's what it's going to be. $16.5 million, 4 years. You know, that's what it's going to be average out to be.
So, Bully, thank you for the generous contribution. Bully says, Dre made me drop my Tito's about Patrick Ewing Jr. All love. Hey, Bully said, Dre, you owe him a drink. Oh, Dre, that's what that man said. Hey, Paris Duggar, thank you for the generous contribution. Paris Duggar says, dummy argument was Harrison Barnes is better. Okay. All right. Okay. I'll give you. Okay. Whichever, however you feel about that one, that's cool. I'm with you on that. That's you can prove neither right or wrong. Harrison Barnes or Josh Hart. You can't.
Can I bring up another strange comment? I just want to say another. So I was talking about the mental side of the game, right? And I argued with people before the playoffs. I said, listen, there's one thing that you got to love about RJ Barrett is no matter what, he's going to just keep coming. He's going to keep coming at you. It doesn't matter how many shots he misses. It doesn't matter. He's going to come all night long. That's RJ Barrett's best skill. And people are like, whatever, he's terrible, he can't shoot. And I agree that these things are all true, but he's not going to stop coming.
Nope.
And that's exactly how he got over in the playoffs. And that's what I think his best skill will be. That's why I think he's valuable. That's why I think he's going to be a great pro. But, hey, listen, if you need to upgrade, you need to upgrade. You know, that's it. You know,
we need to upgrade.
But what is the upgrade, though?
It's just a little question.
Were you talking to me? It was Ribby, right?
I was talking to King Ribby. I was asking King Ribby, like, what is the upgrade?
RJ.
No, what's the upgrade over RJ?
Well, who do you replace him with?
No one.
Oh, RJ is the upgrade, I guess.
You're saying let him play it out. Let him play.
Yeah, we're gonna keep him.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I think something needs to be done at the 2 or the 3.
Listen, we got Fournier and we got Rose. 2 contracts.
Okay.
It's like 30+ million.
Okay.
Why we can't fill our roster with that and put RJ back at the 2 and get a wing?
Well, really, we only have that 14 from Rose because I think Fournier signed for this year. He's still signed, right?
Right.
So we just have that 14 from Rose is all we have.
Right.
You know.
I know it's a team that wants Fournier.
And so we can't trade the 24 first round pick to move Fournier because we traded the 23 first round pick to get Josh Hart. So now you're talking about trading the Bucks 24 pick to get rid of Fournier. Dre, would you consider doing that?
No.
No.
That Bucks pick might.
You never know.
Funny. It might be looking funny.
That Bucks pick might be the new Dallas Mavericks 23 type pick.
It might be looking funny over there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. So it put you in that weird spot, right? Uncle Fulio in the building. Uncle Fulio says, I respect that part of RJ's games, but two things can be true at the same time.
That's it's true. But you know, but he's ours. He's our mon. He came from our roots. He is he's the golden child.
Right. RJ Barrett is the golden child, the future of New York Knicks basketball.
Hey, look, man. I'm down to trade anyone if it brings me closer to a title.
Yeah, no doubt.
Ultimately,
but who are you getting?
No, but trading RJ, I think would be. It's a very specific. Trading RJ, I think you have to be careful with. Not careful, but I think you have to go for the right kind of guy to trade a young guy like RJ. Especially, he's on a decent contract. I think that he could live up to easily if he gets his head together and makes a couple of shots. But I don't think you trade him just for a small upgrade. I don't think you trade him for an OG. That's for damn sure. I don't think you go anywhere near that trade. I think that's ridiculous. But
I'll trade him for a small upgrade. I'll trade RJ and Quickly together for Mikal Bridges right now.
You're not getting that. Be realistic.
I'm saying he would do it, but they wouldn't do it.
Exactly.
They want more.
Yeah, what you mean?
The hell?
The Grizzlies offered 4 first rounders for him, and they were like, "Nah, we good." They offered 4 first rounders for Mikal Bridges.
I just don't think Mikal.
And they were like,
I don't think Mikal Bridges
I'm
is
good.
all that. I got to be honest with you. I'm not. I don't think he's all that. I mean, I don't.
I think his skill set is perfect when you have multiple bucket getters.
Yeah.
He's just so efficient. He is the prototypical 3-and-D guy.
We don't have multiple bucket getters, though.
Yeah, we do, though.
We have Brunson. Brunson and Randle
average 24 points a game.
Yeah, man, but Randle.
Well, in the playoffs, it's not the same.
Even in the regular season, we've seen what it means when you give Randle the ball and ask him to be that second guy, even, right? We know he had a great year this year. That's great. I'm embracing that. But we know that he's probably best if we move him down the food chain just a little bit, right? Make him a third option. Get another dog like a Brunson, someone on that level, and then we're talking. I don't know if Randle can make that transition in his game, but you don't want Randle to be your second option, do you? I mean,
but this is the which happens first type of thing, which is where you can say you move Randle down to the third option, but is his shot diet going to change just because he's at the third option? Like our offense is not his shot diet, but his profile, his shot profile. Is it going to change just because he's at the third option? Because he's just going to be taking
by his shot profile. Explain. Give me more detail.
Okay. He loves to take a lot of 3-pointers. Contested or otherwise.
He's forced to. Tibbs is making him do.
Here's the thing, fellas. We know as well. You know as well as I do. If one thing is working for our offense, Tibbs is going to run it and run it again and again and again. And when Brunson stops working, he's going to go to that second guy, run it again and again and again and again and again. Whoever is working that night, that's what Tibbs is going to run over and over and over again. That's what he's going to do. So if Randle is the third guy, then Randle will get those. He'll probably get those touches when the bench is playing, right? He'll be leading the bench, which would be great. He'll be the man in the second and third quarter. Come the fourth quarter, he takes a back seat to Brunson and whoever the other second guy is. That's the way I see him working.
It's one of those things where I think Randle at his best is when a large sum of usage is under his like. I don't. I'm gonna put it this way, because Randle is like a 34% shooter from three. I don't think he'll have that Kevin Love type approach where he'll just automatically become a high, like a super efficient shooter from range, just because. Like it takes a special type of player to be
You
able to
might get
lower your
surprised,
usage
Dre.
and then be more efficient at that point.
Dre, you might get surprised when he plays with some guys who can create their own shot more like Brunson can, and he's sitting on the perimeter like Kevin Love is doing for guys like
But
guys
but
that he's
but
playing
here's
with
the
in
thing:
Cleveland.
Randall has notoriously been a rhythm player. Like when you give him
I'm
the
just
ball
saying,
at the 3-point line, he's not catching and shooting. He's
I'm not.
catching, dribbling, then taking the shot.
I'm not saying it could I'm just saying I don't think either one of us would be surprised
Right,
that if Randall was playing with Brunson and like some other killer and he was just setting up for threes, we wouldn't be surprised if he was hitting him at a higher clip than he is now or at 38%. We wouldn't be shocked at that,
I
if
would
he
hope
was playing
so.
with some dogs.
I would
But
hope
I'm
so.
just saying I would like to see that
I wouldn't either.
before I'm not ready to just trash Randall and get rid of him. I just want to move him
He's
down.
definitely talented, for sure.
Yeah, and I think the one part we're missing too is even the third option in this offense takes a lot of shots.
You look at RJ.
Look at RJ Barrett, right? Yeah. Even the third option. So it's not like if you get a guy, Randall's going to disappear.
Right.
If anything, I think you'll see Randall. Randall is a above average second option, right?
Yeah.
But he would be
because he averages 25. So
yeah, but he would be an excellent number 3 option, right? If you can imagine Randall being guarded by the third best defender on somebody's team, right. And right now he's an all-star being guarded by a team's number 1 option. If Randall slips to the third option and is guarded by Kenrick Williams every night, I mean, come on, bro. What do we even? Can you imagine, bro? Randall,
but this is the thing this is the caveat that comes with being a third option. When you're a third option, you're expected to do even more things on the other end because you're not taking on the brunt of the offense as you normally do.
Not
so
necessarily. Not necessarily.
Not necessarily, but for most third options.
Is Randall not a great rebounder?
He's a really good rebounder, but he lacks in terms of his defensive effort.
Right, because he was the number 1 option, right?
Yeah, but I would hope he would step it up on that end if he became the third option.
Right.
It's kind of like how Kevin Love went from like being the number 1 option on the Wolves, and then he started just leading the league in charges and things of that nature. Right. And getting a ton of rebounds on the Cavs while just getting like 17 points per game.
I think Randall's effectiveness and efficiency would go up if he's taking less step back threes.
I think his efficiency would go up if he had a different coach.
Mm-hmm. Well, if Ivory was Randall's coach, Randall would average 28 a game on 50, 40, 80.
Give it to him on the block.
Yeah. And we would run elementary plays like Dre and I were talking about last night. Elementary plays like
2-3 zone on defense.
Right, to save energy. And then on the other end, run high-low drag screens where Hartenstein is dumping the ball down low to Randall in front of the rim, where Randall has Jimmy Butler pent under the rim. Right? Can we not do? Is that not easy? Is that not easy, bro? I mean, come on. What are we doing?
Freezy. He averaged 22 on 52% shooting under Alvin Gentry.
Yeah, bro. And I used to watch those New Orleans games, bro. I watched those New Orleans games where they took random dudes on the perimeter, like
And he wasn't as skilled as he is now.
Right. What's the guy name? He used to play for Sacramento all those years.
Buddy Hield?
No, not him. No, the tall guy. He played for the Wizards and then the Kings.
He's a center?
No, he's a shooting guard, a really tall shooting guard. I forget his name. I see his face. He's a light-skinned kid. Looks like a skinny Grant Williams. Let me see.
I know who you're talking about. He was out there for a while.
As soon as I see his name, I'm like, dang, how come I didn't remember that?
He currently playing the NBA.
Garrett Temple, that's his name. As soon as I start,
Temple, okay.
Yeah, they took dudes. They took dudes like Garrett Temple and ran drag screens across, and you're like, oh, and they took dudes like Etuan. Y'all remember Etuan Moore?
Yeah.
Remember Dallas with Wesley Johnson, dudes like that, Stanley Johnson. They took dudes like that and run drag screens and got Julius Randle open. It's the same play they used to run the high low for Anthony Davis, bro. I mean, come on. Wow.
Just like Tibbs put the ball in Brunson's hand time after time after time, he will put it in whoever this next dude's hands is time after time after time. Randle's chances will come when in the late first quarter, all second quarter, beginning of the second quarter. That's when we will see him shine, and that's where he will just blow. That's when we could. That's when we're a contender. That's when we can become a contender, when Julius Randle is our third option.
And the thing that kind of drives me crazy about Randle is he has the physical traits to be a well above average defender. Well above average defender. He has wingspan. He's mobile. He's big. He's strong.
Does he have wingspan? I just feel like he's like
it's his shoulders that are kind of narrow, but his wingspan is longer than his actual height is, which is funny enough.
Is it?
Yeah, it is. It's just not. He's just not a high flyer, but he has enough of a wingspan. Like if you could look up his combine, he doesn't have a short wingspan. It just seems like he does.
Like a T-Rex, you know.
It's because he's stout. That's why.
Stout, right? Because he's stout and
he has big arms.
And Knicks fans don't. And for the record, man, the funny thing is, Knicks fans don't like stout power forwards, bro. We just don't. We want a high-flying power forward. This has been our conundrum for years, right? What do we need with Zach Randolph when we could get Amari Stoudemire? Well, if you give Zach Randolph the ball more, he would put up stat-type numbers. I don't like Zach Randolph attitude. Oh, because he's stout. That's right.
Didn't we pass
I don't like Charles
Stoudemire
Oakley. Yeah, I don't know.
Julius Randle's wingspan is 6'11".
Yeah, he's 6'11" wingspan.
Is that right? Wow.
It's not gigantic, but it's 6'11".
6'11". Wow, damn. I mean, realize that.
I mean, for a lot of bigs that play in the league, their wingspans sometimes they're 7'1", 7'2". Like Jaren Jackson has like a 7'4" wingspan.
But Randall's only like 6'8", right? He's like
6'9". He's a legit 6'9".
That's longer than I thought.
Yeah,
and like his physical capability, like if he had the IQ, he would be a problem on defense. Like when he puts in the effort, you can't barrel through him, you can't run through him. It's just his effort and IQ.
When he puts in that effort, he almost looks like Melo back in the day when they make that effort. You know, it's like when they do too much and they just
yeah.
You know,
when Melo puts in that effort, it's usually because he got fouled on the other end.
Right, exactly. It's like stupid effort. You know, it's like, what the hell is that?
Yeah, and two, just real quick. I don't think it's just Julius Randle's IQ, Dre. I think it's Tom Thibodeau holding these cats back. You know what I'm saying? It's Tom Thibodeau is risk averse. Don't throw that pass right there.
Don't go in the passing lane.
Yeah. Don't gamble. Play it safe. The game will tell you. Yeah, the game will tell you what to do. Is what Tibbs will say. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's the exact opposite. I think he's asking them to do too much. He's asking a couple of players with ability to do too much. These guys don't, Randle certainly doesn't have that ability to make these moves, make the right pass, make the right decision, do the right thing. He's asking the wrong player to do too much. Now, listen, when he's running the second group, like in my imagination, then that'll work just fine. It'll be okay. We'll live with it. He'll be great. He can even run the team. He can play a little point for that backup team. Let quickly run off ball. He can be that point forward that he wants to be. That's when he'll be really nice. But right now we have him trying to make big decisions at big times, and we know that's not his game.
Well, let me go back to the Big Trouble in Little China debate then, or argument that I was making, right? I think it's one of those things that Tom Thibodeau wants to run the football and not turn it over because he thinks his defense can win the game for him.
It's playing it safe.
Playing it safe. Right. Don't throw that cross-court pass to Grimes in the corner, even though he's wide open, because there is a slim percentage that pass may get picked off, and we don't want to turn it over. So now even Quentin Grimes is not getting wide open looks, even though he's wide open, right? Because in theory, that last play of the game that you mentioned, the last game that you mentioned against Miami, you know who was wide open in that backside corner? Quentin Grimes. That dude at the top of the screen, when you watch it, that dude at the top of the screen that's by itself, that's Quentin Grimes. If we get Grimes the ball there.
You mean there was another one?
Yeah. I'm thinking Grimes makes, if you give Grimes that much time and he's wide open like that, there's no way Grimes misses that 3-pointer that wide open. You feel me?
I mean, we couldn't get it to him. We couldn't. We made the wrong decision.
Right.
We were close. We did great. I mean, I'm really proud of this team. I'm excited about them. But to get better, we need better decision makers. We need better ball handlers. We need more ball handlers. Better decision makers. We need a baller. We need someone who can take the ball out of Brunson's hands and run the team a little bit, without us worrying about they're going to throw the ball away if they get double teamed. I mean,
Jordan Clarkson.
Randle gets double teamed, tell me you don't hold your breath.
Jordan Clarkson. We need Jordan Clarkson, bro. We need Jordan Clarkson.
He'd be nice off the bench. He'd be nice off the bench.
Yeah, I think he might even push Grimes for that starting spot.
Thing is, we can't afford to pay for a Clarkson before we 100% know what's going on in that starting lineup. I don't think we should make any moves like that before we have this starting five.
But Ivory, when I asked you 3 times already, right? Like who is that guy that you're going to add to the starting lineup?
Listen, if I was paid the big bucks, Freezy, I'd have a few answers for you, man. I really, really would.
You understand why I'm asking, though, right?
No, of course you can't just come out and say this needs to be changed unless you have at least some idea of what that change is going to be
in the ballpark, right? Yeah,
I understand.
Yeah,
and I have some ideas. There's some ideas that are out there, but
Brandon Ingram. How do you feel about Brandon Ingram?
Listen, these guys are nice, but are they available? I can't spend my time thinking about these guys if they're not even necessarily available.
But here's the difference.
Brandon is cool.
Thinking about, hey, Bully, what's good, bro?
What's up, brothers? How y'all doing up there on that panel, man? What's going on? Yo, Dre, real quick, I just salute Dre. I salute Ivory. What up, Ribby? What's going on, y'all? Peace. Salute to the chat. Dre, you was a funny dude. I swear I was out in the backyard real quick. I just want to say real quick, because we still barbecuing and whatnot. We just doing this all night thing. I was in the backyard and I heard what you said about Chris Smith, J.R. Smith's son, and then Patrick Ewing Jr. And as I was walking to the table, I had a drink in my hand, but I got the Bluetooth in as I'm listening to the show. And then you said they was both trash. Yo, I swear, something stopped in me. And then the whole drink just fell on the floor, and everybody just looked at me like, "What's going on with you?" And I had to point to my ear like, "Yo, I'm just listening to some wild craziness right now." But it's all love, like I said. Everything is good, and we cool, dude. But you absolutely right. It was kind of, doodle on the stick. But nonetheless, I'll pass it on. Happy holidays to y'all on this holiday weekend, man. Go ahead, y'all. I'm sorry,
brother.
Word. But I like Brandon Ingram. I ain't gonna front. I like Brandon Ingram, man. I think, well, that boy's a dynamic. If we could get him over here, boy, we're gonna do some things.
Right.
For sure.
And the thing about is he available is not necessarily the question when you're the $1 million man, because everybody has a price for the $1 million man. You know what I'm saying?
Ted DiBiase.
And the Knicks look like, for instance, so I have a sales background, right? And so when I do my pitches, I'm not trying to make them not trying to push my product on there and tell them to give me their money. I'm trying to get them to force me to take their money. No, Uncle Freezy, here. No, what you have to sell is so valuable. Take it. Take my money. That's what I'm doing, right? That's what I'm doing to New Orleans. I'm like, listen, y'all have 3 guys to play one spot.
What are you offering? I got to hear this. What are you offering, Freezy? What is this value? I got to hear.
I already know.
What I'm offering them is their GM's weakness. He has a weakness for draft picks. He can't help it. Like how Tom Thibodeau has a fetish for 6'4" players. Their GM has a fetish for draft picks, bro, especially futures, especially way down the road. He got a fetish for them. So what I'm doing is I'm offering him something like, hey, man, look, I'm going to offer you this one time. And then if you try to negotiate with me, I'm going to take it off the table and I'm going to go elsewhere. Because you know what I'm saying? This offseason, we don't have time. You already know I already went through the Donovan Mitchell thing, so I don't want to do this song and dance again. I'm going to offer you 2 unprotected and 2 of ours lightly protected for Brandon Ingram.
Good night.
Right. And listen, either you can take my money or somebody else can take it, but I'm offering this. This is the offer around the league. So either you can take it first or you can watch ESPN and see it come across their ticker down there across their ticker at the bottom of the screen. Right. And he's like, I love Brandon Ingram. Brandon Ingram's part of the community. Well, tell Brandon good luck working in that community in New Orleans. Thank you for your time. Goodbye.
But what is their motivation to like
to trade to let Brandon Ingram go?
I understand, but they're trying to put something together out there. If Zion's healthy, that whole organization could turn around in a split second. Yeah. And I think
when is he healthy?
Might be holding on to that.
Right.
I'm sorry, Abby. When is he healthy? When is he healthy?
And the other thing too is I think y'all missed out on the thing on what I was offering. I was offering an impulse shopper the opportunity to be an impulse shopper. You know what I'm saying? Notice I cut out the whole negotiating part, right? I gave an impulse shopper the opportunity to be an impulse shopper. It's like you go in the grocery store with your kids and you at checkout and they got all the candy at the eye level of the kids. Guess what the kids are doing? Daddy, I'm this kid with that. I'm trying to. You know what I'm saying?
Wait a second, Freezy. You're offering me a couple of draft picks plus 2 more. Are you saying you're going to give me a draft pick this year? Oh, no, you don't have one? Oh, sorry, Freezy. I can't work with you. But I shop now. I need to shop right now.
But here's the thing. David Griffin is not that's not his impulse. His impulse is in futures.
Oh.
Right down the road. Right? That's his thing. Not right away stuff. You notice the trade with Anthony Davis? They got like one current pick, right? And they got a bunch of future Lakers picks, right? So they can because what happens if you get the here and now picks? Once you pick the player that you already want, what are you going to do with the other picks right now? Are you going to pick somebody else or are you going to trade it? You know what I'm saying? Your roster can only hold 15 people. And if I give you 3 draft picks within the next 1 to 2 years, and you already got 15 people on your roster, now you got to move around roster spots for such and such and such. But
you said 2 firsts and what? What was it? 2 firsts and what?
And 2 firsts and 2 of our 2 of our picks with very light protections on them, like top 5 protected.
I think they could probably do better. I think
the top 5 protected.
Yeah, no, they could do better than 2 picks. They could probably do better than 2 unprotected picks. Is what I'm thinking. I think they could probably get 3. You figure Donovan, what was Donovan Mitchell? He was 3 plus two swaps plus. I mean, my goodness, they gave up everything.
And you notice we didn't do that trade, right?
Right, but someone did, is all I'm saying. And
you also remember they gave up
they
an
might get it from
all-star.
someone. I'm not saying they get it from us. I'm saying someone might be willing because that's just the value.
Well, we won't be someone. We'll offer.
No, I hear that.
We'll go to Chicago and offer them less for Zach LaVine.
See, I think.
Would you want him on the team? I'm sorry, Avi.
This is not the way it works. I don't know. I'm not in the business, but I don't think it works this way because the Knicks would have their man by now if it did. I mean, we need a dude, and everyone knows we need a dude. And I think this management knows we need a dude. And I think it's hard. I think it's very difficult.
Has this regime not been looking for their man?
They've been looking.
Right.
They're shopping.
And the only thing that stopped them from having that man that you mentioned is the price.
The price.
Right. So now that you have the assets, right? Do you not try again? Do you not go to Phoenix and say, hey, listen, we'll give you 3 unprotecteds and 2 lightly protecteds for Devin Booker?
They're gonna laugh. They're not trading their franchise piece. They're not trading their chance at a championship for more picks. They're not. Just like we wouldn't do it, right? If we had that guy, we don't even have that guy. If someone said, "Hey, Jalen Brunson, right now, we'll give you 3 first-round picks," we're gonna say no. We finally got a guy. We're not giving him up for anything.
Right.
And that's the way that's the way Phoenix feels. That's the way all these people feel when they get their chance.
No, they don't, Ivory. No, they don't. No, they don't. You know why? Because Phoenix right now, when I make that offer, Phoenix is sitting on DeAndre Ayton, Kevin Durant, Chris Paul, and Devin Booker. New Orleans is sitting on Zion and CJ McCollum. The Knicks, if they do that deal, they have nobody left. Right now, if you'd have said, if you'd have said Boston, such and such and such, I agree with you, right? But in New York's case, if you trade Jalen Brunson, then you go back to square one. But those other teams, they have players already that they could survive without that guy. As a matter of fact, those teams that we're mentioning are either on the same level as us or lower. They want to go forward or restock and take advantage of that.
I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm saying it's very difficult to get the stud. I'm a Knicks fan. I know you are too. We've been dying for a stud. We've been dying for that guy. We would do anything for him. So I can't sit here and say with like in any kind of flippant way that if we want him, we can get him. If we want to, blah, blah, blah. No.
I think we got him.
See it before I believe it. I need to see the Knicks with that dude before I believe it.
Bro. I think we got him, and I think he is Brunson. And I think Brunson is a bona fide superstar. And I was saying this morning about my man Julius. I like him. I just don't like his attitude. I don't like his diviness. But if we build around Brunson, man, I think we're gonna be all right, man. That he a star and he a leader. I can see it. I feel something different in this boy, man. This boy got it. And I think that we're a piece away, man. Whether it's a Brandon Ingram or Williams or something like that, I think Brunson is the catalyst of this team, and I don't think Julius has the fortitude to lead this team. You know what I mean? He's gonna be that second or third option, and that need to be his place. I know he came here on the women. He wanted to come here and be the leader and everything, but he can't handle it and stuff. So now it's time for him to fall back.
But Bully, what makes you feel comfortable that whatever guy that you bring in here will be able to handle it?
Oh, well, I know you don't like Josh Hart. I know he's an energy. If we could get Josh Hart.
I'm talking about a star. I ain't talking about Josh
Hart.
Yeah,
so I hear what you're saying. I hear where you're going. I mean, I was just trying to say, like, if they had a battery like Josh Hart with the energy and that funkiness, it would be for me. I think Brandon Ingram, whoever brought it up. I'm sorry, I forgot who brought it up. Bringing it, Brandon Ingram. I think he got that battery, man. I think Sherman said, man, is he Asian or is he high? You know what I'm saying? Let him get caught out there if he get caught like that. But I think Brandon Ingram is that high energy dude. He bring that and stuff, and he could shoot. He can shoot. He can stretch the floor, and he get busy and stuff like that. When he can get nice and stuff like that.
Him and Brunson together. Let's make sure that the chat know that we're not saying that Brunson is not a stud. I think Brunson is a mega star.
I think he's a mega superstar for real, man. I think Dallas slept on him. It's like that girlfriend, you know what I'm saying? It's like that if you in a relationship, so when we gonna do it? So when we gonna jump the broom? I'm tired of waiting for you. Here it is, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 10, 9, 12 years, and we don't do nothing. You know what I mean? So it was time for Brunson to jump out that relationship, man, and come over here to somebody that's going to embrace him. So
and then you see her again, and she 45, and she got a little bit of them gray hairs, but she's still fine. You like, God, somebody, Lord have mercy.
And everything in the right place now. Everything in the right place. Like, Lord, man, I should have, cultivated that a little bit more.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
With you, man.
But you see, God dog it, Bully. You see where the conversation go with Bully?
Yes. I ain't messing with you, man. Anyway, but now no more on some real. Yes.
But the Brandon Ingram thing, man, I think Brandon Ingram is only built for Cuban links, right? But everybody not that guy.
That's a ball.
Everybody not gonna be that guy, man. You know, some guys like I don't think Bradley Beal is the guy to come here and handle it.
No.
I don't think Zach LaVine is the guy to come here and handle it.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to get the person with the right mentality to handle it.
For New York.
Yeah. Only because New York is a different place, not because we want them to be something special than they otherwise would be. You know, if you was a star over there and we recognize that, we just want you to come and be a star over here. You don't have to try to take your game to the next level. But if you was averaging 27 in Minnesota.
What was that song on Freezy? You don't have to be a star, baby, to be in my book. What was that? Who sang that song?
You know, hey, that's a Paris Duggar question. You don't have to be a star, baby, to be in my show.
In my book. Right, to be on the house.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Man. Yeah, man. That's one of them things. Like if you average 30 in OKC, we just ask you to come kind of try to replicate that in the city. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe Porzingis, like my man up there is saying, time is money TV. Maybe Porzingis need to come on back and get busy. Maybe.
Yeah. Maybe.
So we need incarcerated Scarfaces, is what you're saying?
Hey, man, with the 360 waves. You got to have 360 waves.
You got to have 360 waves. That's right. Facts. Facts. Yo,
with a half
always
moon.
bringing up some craziness. I love it, though. Yeah. With the half moon. That's right, Dre.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So if we can just get a guy, well, like for instance, if we get Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and he put up certain numbers,
SGA, man.
Yeah, you know his mama named him after that singing group, right?
Yeah.
Shai, the boy group.
Yeah.
If I fell in love,
yeah.
Them dudes, get out of here.
Yeah, that man might.
I was joking
with Dre. Yeah. Oh. I was joking with Dre about that the other night. That man first name could have been Jodeci.
You know what?
Jodeci Gilgeous-Alexander.
So you having my baby, and it seems so good to me. Yo, get out of here, man.
Yeah, man. But a cat like SGA, if he put up them numbers in OKC, right, and he come to New York and play with Brunson in the backcourt, and he put up similar numbers, like maybe 28 points a game. The rebounds are up.
You got that swag for New York?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think he does. I think
he got that swag. Okay.
He dressed every day like he going to the Met Gala, man. I think
you
got to have a certain level of confidence to dress the way he does.
Yeah, hey man.
But then again, James Harden dresses crazy and he
No,
trash.
he dressed like a weirdo. He dressed like a widow, man.
Him and Ben Simmons. So.
Yeah, they dress like they live in the club, bro.
I heard he just got signed by the Mexico Cantaloupes.
Yeah, he did. He did. They changing their color schemes too.
No, I'm only playing. Go ahead,
just for him, bro. Just
well, it could have been worse, Freezy. They could have named him Drew Hill, Gilgis Alexander.
Wow, he said Drew Hill, and everybody running around with platinum hair. Oh no.
Yeah, man.
Or H Town shot Gilgis.
Yeah. Jagged Edge.
The 112s.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh Lord. Okay.
Yeah, man. But just keeping it real though, man. You know, you can add certain guys, and if they just play to the level that they normally play at, then we'll be good money, right? Because you can't predict what somebody's going to be like once they get here. You just have to see it after they get here,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Because we think everybody's Anthony Davis is a dog when LeBron ain't around. But what happened when LeBron is around? Right. Damian Lillard is a dog. Yeah,
they put up numbers in non-high leverage games that don't really matter.
Yeah, games that's on Bally Sports, bro. What's happening? What's gonna happen?
I mean, most of the league is on Bally Sports reason.
Yeah,
not everyone. Not everyone has the luxury of Clyde and Breen like we do.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, man. They like no knock on Damian Lillard, right? But it's easy when you playing 41, 50 games in the Great Northwest when you're the only game in town, right?
I think that's part of the reason why he doesn't want to.
Genuine Gillis.
He's a big fish in a small pond. He doesn't want to be just another fish in a pond.
Oh man.
Yeah.
You see this baller? I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Uncle Freeze. My bad.
Paris Tucker, thank you for the generous contribution. Paris Tucker last night about Cat. He lost his mom. Hey, listen,
I know, man.
My heart go out to him on that.
Facts, man. Condolences.
But the thing is what I was trying to get to Paris Tucker about that last night is not that Cat is a bad player, right? He does put up good points and good numbers, right? But if he is pressured in Minnesota through all these circumstances, it's not going to get any better when you put him in Midtown Manhattan, bro.
Facts.
Those are the points that I'm speaking to. Like if he's under pressure in Minneapolis, Minnesota,
Minnesota.
Yeah, just imagine when he comes to New York City, and because in Minneapolis they're gonna have 4 beat writers and they're gonna be super nice.
Let me find out Morris Day is slapping Cat in the back of the arena, Target arena. Boy, get it together. You know what I'm saying? Morris Day kicking Cat butt. So if he come here, imagine if DMX was alive. If DMX back there talking to him or something like that, man, come on. He ain't got it. He a little soft, man.
Yeah, my tattoo artist said my tattoo artist said no lie. My tattoo a dude named Lugnut, right? Lugnut said DMX tour bus pulled into the tattoo place, right? And they kick everybody out of get out of here, dudes is wilding out. People getting up out of chairs and he get in their car, and DMX come in, right, and sit down in the chair, and he just like and my man was like, yo, I don't care where y'all come from. Y'all treat my cousin, I'll shoot all this Lugnut crazy. They call him Lugnut, right? Because he legit is a human being with a screw that is absolutely loose. Like somebody lubed it up with WD-40 and it just been loose. Lugnut is like, yo, hand to the man. Lugnut looks like, y'all remember Big Papa Pump? Big Papa Pump got your hookup?
Big Papa Pump, yeah.
Lugnut looks like Big Papa Pump, right?
Scott Steiner?
Yes. Scott Steiner, yeah. Scott Steiner.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Big Booty Mac Daddy or something?
Big Booty Mac Daddy.
Imagine Scott Steiner. Imagine Scott Steiner all tatted up from his neck down. That's my homeboy Lugnut, right? DMX sits in the chair. He like, the dog get what he was. And Luck, it was like the dog. But Lucknow got a script. But anyway. Well, I just wanted to say, if you can imagine that DMX kicks everybody out of a tattoo shop just because he see a tattoo sign, it was like, yo, I want a tattoo right now. Stop, pull over there. Can you imagine Karl Anthony Towns scoring 15 points and we lose by 9 to the Charlotte Hornets?
Oh, they gonna tear him up.
Yeah, man.
He ain't gonna handle it.
That's part of the reason why I'm saying, as much as we kill the guy, there's something special about what Randle has been through.
It's the devil,
he is. That mental. I mean, I just think that mental strength. I mean, if he's able to put this behind him and play well, listen, I'm telling you, the guy's he's not old. He's still in his prime.
So, Avi, you advocate? I'm sorry, bro. Not to cut you off. Are you advocating for Cat to come here?
Oh no, I don't care about Cat. I could care less.
Oh, okay.
I'm not advocating for that.
No. I wouldn't care. I was just trying to get your opinion on.
Oh no. I'm not advocating for that at all. If they trade for Cat, I'm gonna be like, okay, great. I hope he plays well. Whatever. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I watch that dude play every night and I know what he's made of, and I know what kind of man he is and what he'll bring to the table. You know what I mean? I can't sit here and say that I know that. And if they trade. But what I'm talking about is who we have right now, and that's Randle. And I would imagine people are talking about trading. Everyone's talking about trading Randle, or listen, Randle. I don't know, man. That mental piece. Think of the hell that he goes through on a daily basis the last 4 years, and he has come back and been better and stronger.
So you think we need to run it back with him?
Something has to be said.
He improves relatively every year.
Right.
So should we run it back with him?
And if he regresses, he comes back even stronger.
I think we absolutely need to bring him back, but I think we need to bring him back with an embrace instead of the nonsense that is flying around the entire Knicks world, which is got to get rid of him. They're stomping on his poster, some bullshit at the the
You're good, bro.
It's just craziness, man. It's just.
But
those aren't real fans.
Go ahead, Drake. I mean, yeah. I ain't gonna front. I mean, like I said this morning when I was on earlier and part of the last night, I'm afraid of losing again, man. I'm afraid to go back to that where we was at for the most part of almost 30 years. It was not being at the bottom and laughing stock of the league and stuff like that. So when I'm seeing this greatness that we starting to do and we starting to pick up on. All right, I like Julius as a player. I get it. But his attitude, it's almost, like I said before, it's almost like a relationship sometimes. And I've been through one, so I already know. Man, I'm going to give you one more chance. You understand what I'm saying? Especially when you got your own and you making the bread and you doing all that. I'm going to give you one more chance to act right. And then they keep doing the same thing over and over and over. When you're not a good teammate, when you want to argue with the refs. You want to talk more to the refs than you talk to your teammate. You dig? And you're not handling the business you handling business on the floor. Yeah, you handling business on the court, but you're not gelling with your peeps. And I'm not saying he's a bad teammate or whatever, but from what I see, looking at Madison Square Garden television and going to the games, and I see him on the away games and whatnot, and how he be acting, I be like, man, you know what? Sometimes that is like a little toxic situation.
You're right.
Stuff like that.
No one could deny one word of that entire statement. No one could. Those are all facts. Here's one thing that just brings me back to the other side. It's like I'm a Knicks fan and I've been through hell, and I'm tired of looking at terrible teams, and I'm tired of looking at players that don't get accolades like All NBA and players that can't lead a team. I'm tired of losing.
I'm tired of losing.
Julius Randle was the beginning of a winning era for this Knicks organization.
You need to act accordingly.
He was the beginning of it, so I want to give him that respect. I want to give him more of a chance to show that he's not this mentally deranged individual. I want to give him a chance because I think he can do it. I believe in the dude. He's taking on all of New York. I mean, there's no other athlete in New York right now that is under the pressure or that is more like hated upon.
Aaron Judge.
Not one.
Oh well, okay.
Not one. So I just want to listen. We don't get good players that often. We got an all NBA player on our hands, and it's almost like we can't wait to chase him out of town. And like I said, I'm not the biggest Julius Randle fan, but when I see such, so many people that are so willing to give up on him, it's
so that's a catch-22 then. That's a catch-22.
Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, because
I wouldn't call us damned right now. We I wouldn't say where we are is damned. We've been doing pretty good. We all know that we just overachieved. So I mean, we're doing all right, fellas.
Yeah, we good. Yeah, we good. But I just want him. I want him to step up more as a leader, man, and stop all the antics. Stop the friskiness. Stop the deepness. Step up, pull them boots up and whatnot, and be a dude, be a man, and get with your peeps and say, yo, we gonna rock, because they're gonna follow. See, now, if you ask me, in my opinion, they're gonna follow what Brunson is gonna do. And whatnot. I think he kind of lost the team a little bit with his little antics. Stop being a diva, dude. You know what I mean? Get out there, play that ball, be that strong dude like you say you want to be. And stop with the referee arguing. Stop with the slapping your teammates' hands when they trying to help you and move them. You know what I'm saying? Stop all of that, man. Enough. We in that year 5, year 4, year 5.
We could only hope that Randle would handle things and be mature in these situations. We would only hope. But you know what? Everyone is not going to handle things the way we do. And all I'm saying is, as a Knicks fan, I don't want to chase a dude out of town for some of this I won't say it's little stuff, because it is big, how he is as a teammate. I don't want to chase a talent that we haven't had in 10 years, 15 years in this town away because we don't like the way he acts sometimes. So,
I get you. He remind me he got female tendencies. You need to get over that real quick. Stop playing. I said it.
Yeah. I'm with some of that stuff. I would, if that's the case, then I want the kids to get all that play out of them, right? You know what I'm saying? If we gonna keep it a buck, let's just make sure we do it for everybody. Like let's not just signal out just Randle.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like the
Hart
kid
got a lot of technicals too.
Right.
Yes.
But like I pointed out to Dre one night, we down 17, quickly hits a 3 and starts jogging up and down the floor, pointing at his arm, and we down 14. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, come on, bro. Hey, come on, you gotta get all that play out you, bro. You gotta grow up, man.
Quickly, come on, grow. All of them need to grow up. How about that?
You know what I'm saying?
All of them got to grow up.
You hit 1 3. You missed your last 8 threes. You hit 1.
Yeah, you pointing at the arm.
And you skipping.
I swear, I was waiting for his game to finally come around sometime in the Heat series and watch him start jumping around doing that nonsense. I was waiting for that to happen, but
he was doodle.
Right? Yeah, that's those are the small things. But like, okay, and since we went there, can Grimes be tough? Can Grimes be tough, bully? But can we get Grimes to be tough, bro? Can we stop getting him to look shook?
Okay, I was going to shoot a joke at Grimes, but I'm going to leave him alone for the moment because I got something in my head that I think about Grimes. But yes, he could be tough. He could be tough and whatnot. What I need for Grimes is get knocked on that floor a couple of times and let the opposition put him on the floor a little bit more and stuff and build his toughness up. You know what I'm saying? Because right now, I like him offensively.
I like Grimes a lot. I like Grimes a lot, bro.
He's a little soft.
I hate when you
he's
say
a little soft, but
I knew it. I knew you was gonna. Yo, I like Grimes. I dog it.
He's a little soft. I'm sorry. He's a little soft.
Why y'all call us light skinned folks soft? I mean, that's
I wasn't even going about the color. See, I wasn't even trying to talk about the light skinned folks and whatnot. I'm not saying
soft. Every time we bring
talking about Christopher Williams. I wasn't talking about Christopher Williams and nothing like that. You know what I mean? I was actually going to say something about proactive, but it's cool.
Man, come on.
I was going to say something about proactive and whatnot, and I was going to say maybe he need to get with a couple of like the locks, maybe Jadakiss or one of them, and take him back in one of them back alleys and get him right so his skin can get right. Yeah, I mean, pause.
He needs to just be more physical. He needs to play defense a little bit. He needs to be more physical and get more aggressive on offense. You know, he needs to be more physical on defense and more aggressive on offense. You know, right now.
Hold on. Let me put the service announcement out there. Yo, Grimes, if you out there, my name is Boulevard, kid. If you ever in Brooklyn around my way, come check me. I'm gonna get you right. And when you get back on the court next season, you're gonna get right.
I'm sure he's gonna look you up. I'm sure he's gonna look
he
you
needs
up.
to do. You know how some NBA players like train boxing.
Yeah.
In the off season, he needs the Uncle Freezy train.
Right there, you need some training. You need some training, man.
I lost too much, bro. He don't want I lost.
I mean, some of the best coaches lost a lot. Freezy.
Yeah. My only thing with Grimes is not that I don't think I don't think Grimes is soft. I just don't like the fact. I don't like the optics of Grimes. Like I didn't like the optics of Grimes letting Jared Allen give him a bloody lip. And he over there looking scared, and Cleveland over there celebrating. It's just the optics of it.
Yeah, like back in like prior years of the NBA, if a certain guy took a certain hit, and the next time he sees you on the screen, he's just gonna light you up on the screen.
He's gonna light you up. Right. There you go. That's Dre. That's absolutely right. That's what I'm talking about.
He'll light you up and make sure you fall on the ground on the screen. I don't care if Jared Allen's a nice guy.
Right.
I think he's gonna come back next. I think he's gonna come back next season a little tough. I really do. I really think he's going to come back a little bit tougher.
I don't think he's soft because every time I saw him play live, he's tough. My only thing is the stuff like Scotty Barnes tripping at him, Scotty Barnes in his face talking, and that man standing there taking it. You know what I'm saying? To me, it's the optics of that just bothered me. The certain parts of his game, I know he's a young player, and I know he got to grow. Right? I know he ain't played 200 games yet. I understand all of this stuff. It's just the optics of Jared Allen bloodying his lip, and he's standing there looking like he won his mama. I know that's not the case, right? I know Grimes is tough. I know that's not the case, but how he looked in that moment,
right? He looked like a deer with the lights on him.
Man.
I know some of these things. I think you're born with. You know, I think it's like there's a certain toughness. I think you're born with. You know, I don't know. I think it's not one of those things you pick up. You know, I don't. You know, I just don't. And let me just tell you.
I'm not gonna hurt him. I'm not gonna hurt him. BT, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I wish Grimes had Dylan Brooks' mentality though.
Right. Yeah. That's the dog. You know, he got no skill at all.
Yes. I agree with you. I really enjoy. Yes.
And that's why I like that Williams kid you were talking about, Freezy. I like these guys. They have that mental toughness.
Yeah, Grant Williams.
Mental toughness, yes.
Dude, yeah, he that dude, bro. He that dude. My thing with Grimes and quickly and Randle, like everybody, RJ has flaws too. I think RJ's biggest flaws, one of RJ's biggest flaws, is one of RJ's biggest strengths. Right? When things go wrong for RJ, you never know if it's bothering him or not. Right. When things are going right for RJ, you rarely know if things are going right for RJ. Right. And I know it's even keel, but I think it's an even keel to an extreme. Right. Where you don't enjoy the highs and you don't dislike or hate the lows as much, where it motivates you to get better. Right. I think his even keel persona kind of neutralizes or numbs his failures, where his failure doesn't really register with him.
He doesn't care.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like with me, it was like with me in failure, it resonates with me. So I'm driven by failure to succeed. Right. And others are driven by success to succeed. Like the more it's like ambrosia to them. It's like honey to them.
Well, some people, after they hit that confrontation and they have that moment, it might push them back in the other direction.
Right.
It just does not. You know, some people, if they go 0 for 10, they're not taking that next shot. They're not going to take it.
And I think that's RJ's fear right there that you just said.
He's not. RJ. He's taking it. He's going to take that shot. He's gonna keep coming. That's what I love about this dude. And there's one thing I know about professional basketball players is as they get older in their careers, they all shoot better. At least the guys that really work. And I think RJ is a worker. I believe he's a worker. And I think they all get better at shooting. So I think RJ's future is bright. I think he's going to be fine. I think he is going to be fine. He's going to be.
Well, Uncle Freezy, I'm sorry. To answer your question about Grimes, one thing that I was just listening in the last couple of minutes, quickly, Grimes and RJ, they've been in the city for the last 3 to 4 years. I'm starting to see them come around. I'm not knocking none of them. I just want them to be a little bit tougher, but I think they start to take on that mentality like, okay, we here in the city, we here with the Knicks and whatnot in this orange and blue. I think they're starting to take on the attitude and the persona of the team. They are getting better. I'm not knocking them now. They are definitely getting better. I see it. For me, I'm not trying to accelerate them, but I am trying to accelerate them a little bit more and stuff like that. But I don't want to wait too long for them to finally Jiffy popcorn when you pop it on the stove and whatnot, you keep shaking it back and forth. I want them to explode right now.
God.
I said it.
Ivory, you with the old school crew, bro. This is the old school
Jimmy Pop.
Yes, on the stove, bro.
I can't believe it. I remember that.
This is you.
I need that aluminum foil.
Wow.
Man. And you poke when you poke the fork in the top and all that steam come out, bro.
Yeah,
man. Yeah,
best smelling thing in the world, boy.
Yeah,
Stove top popcorn. Remember?
That's right, stove top popcorn, Jimmy Pop popcorn. Yeah,
Jimmy Pop. Yeah. Yeah,
that's what I need. That's what I need for the Knicks right now, though. For real.
Just for them to get better, because you say put the pressure on them, for a little bit, and let them grow into what they are or what we thought they would be when we first brought them here.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. They're getting there. They're getting there.
Well, the pressure's on now. I mean, we're not going to have draft picks for 2 years straight. So it's on these dudes to make it happen. I mean, there's no shining armor coming to rescue anybody. There's no knight in shining armor coming to rescue anybody. It's on these dudes to make something happen. And that's why I think next year is probably the big year of change. People are talking about this summer. I think next year is the big summer of change because that's when I think the Knicks will have a better idea of really what these kids are going to be. Like, no one can really judge what Grimes is right now. Nobody, right? So at the end of next year, I think we'll all have a much better idea of watching him play a full season. If he's healthy, hopefully he'll be healthy and play a full year. We'll have a better idea what we have.
Bim. On that note, fellas, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to wrap up so I can go in here and spend some time with the missus and enjoy.
Yeah, I'm going back here and finish barbecuing and whatnot. Yo, Mr. Absolute Truth. Yeah, correct.
Yeah, and so
thank you.
Hey,
thank you.
No doubt. I'm gonna try to do.
Dre, you're a funny dude, boy. I'm gonna get you.
So I'm gonna try to jump back on and do the Knicks morning drive at 9. I'm gonna try to do that.
Ron, what's up?
And then
okay.
And then that way we could get some more Knicks talk in on this day off, man. And because y'all already know the vibe. But thank you everybody for coming in and rocking with us. Obi Hive, leave me alone. Obi Hive, stop ringing my phone.
TV, Ron. What's going on, man?
Thank you for having us, Unc.
Yeah, man. No doubt, man. I'm gonna holler at y'all later, man. Peace.